You're muted.
I am muted. Happy New Year. We're off to a phenomenal start in what is sure to be a great night. Hopefully. I say hopefully because the first game was a dud. This is the first, definitely not the last, but certainly the first university football night with uSTADIUM. Usually we've done plenty of these for NFL games. Tonight's the first college game of the bunch. Zach Berman alongside my partner Splash. We're going to be rolling through the night. We may have some guests hop in along the way. I don't know who, but you never know on this final night of 2021, day 365 out of 365. And we're set to break down what should be a very, very good game about an hour south of me. I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida, here celebrating New Year's Eve. And down the road, down I-95, it's the Orange Bowl. It's Michigan and Georgia for a chance to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide in the national championship game. And as the teams are getting set to run out into the field, Bama took down Cincinnati earlier today, 24 or 27. I don't know. It's
27-6.
27-6 in a game that never really felt as close as the score looked. But first and foremost, there's a lot of talk about Cincinnati not deserving to be in the college football playoff. And guess what? Did Cincinnati get blown out any worse than we've seen Notre Dame get blown out? Or Oklahoma? Or Washington, Michigan State? No.
Not as bad as Washington.
Washington only lost by 17.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati proved they could, I guess, hang. Their defense really showed up. Their defense impressed me, but unfortunately, Desmond Ridder, who came into the season projected to possibly even be a top first-round draft pick, he hurt his stock. I don't think he's got an NFL caliber release, and it hurt their team all night. They couldn't get a dang thing going on offense. And although that defense showed up and showed out eventually when you're on the field for as long as they are, and you got Bryce Young playing quarterback for the other team, they're going to get worn out. Georgia has already taken the field. Michigan is walking through the tunnels of Hard Rock Stadium right now. I've already put down my prediction, and I've touted it on the app. But I do believe, and Michigan is going into this game favored by, and first cameo appearance of the night is not anybody in particular. It is my dog. That is Boomer. Boomer, say hello to whoever is tuning in and watching this right now. He's a yellow lab and oh come on. Oh, I know. You want Michigan to win too? Good boy.
Oh, and I would love a Michigan win tonight, but I am kind of a sadist, and I have a lot of friends that are Georgia fans. My mom is rooting for Georgia, and I kind of know what's going to happen tonight. I kind of know that I'm going to have another terrible New Year's Eve because Michigan's going to lose. So I want to be hopeful that Michigan can pull it out, go Harbaugh.
I hope so too.
But I really don't want to see Alabama, Georgia again. But sigh.
Michigan is favored to lose by 6.5 as of a few hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
A few seconds ago. I actually think Michigan wins this game. And you might be saying, well, Zach, why would you think Michigan wins?
Hey, Zach, why do you think Michigan wins?
Why do I think Michigan wins? Well, Georgia, they're a very good football team. But my first big problem with UGA is that they have 5 stars littered across the roster, yet they still have decided to ride with Stetson Bennett at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And the mailman is not going to win you these big games. And I look at a couple mismatches along the line of scrimmage. You look at Georgia's pass rush. Of course, their best pass rusher, Adam Anderson, had to leave after getting accused of a sexual assault. That investigation is still ongoing, but he is not currently with the team. So they have lost their best pass rusher. I cannot speak. However, who has not lost their best pass rusher. That would be Michigan, and they have 2, likely even top 15 picks, Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, sort of a thunder and lightning duo at edge. And look out also, Michigan can exploit Georgia's weakness on defense, which is their secondary. You have some of these fast receivers that can give Georgia fits in a way that's Alabama did similarly. There's no Jamison Williams caliber guys, and that I understand. But if you look at maybe I am totally blanking on names, and we already have fireworks going on outside. Florida's just going to Florida. But these Michigan receivers, they can run, and they can absolutely get down into these Georgia cornerbacks and give them fits. Once you get past Darion Kendrick, this Georgia defense in the secondary is not that great. I think their defensive line, of course, Jordan Davis is amazing. Nakobe Dean's the best linebacker in college football, but I really am not sold on their secondary. And if J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara, remember, Michigan runs a 2-quarterback system. If they can exploit that, then I think Michigan has a fighting chance in this game. Of course, coin toss is ready, and it looks like there's Dan Marino that is out there with the ceremonial coin toss. Of course, this game is in Miami. I have, of course, being an hour north of Miami, I have noticed that the crowd seems to be about 70-30 Michigan at Hard Rock Stadium.
Really?
Stop barking at the fireworks. They're not going to hurt you.
I'm sure if there are any fireworks going off near my house, my cats are freaking out. But you know what? That's okay. It happens twice a year. They feel like the sky is falling because it kind of is. But, it happens. And hopefully we get some offensive fireworks today, even though we get to watch Stetson Bennett. So I'm not looking forward to that whole ordeal. But I've been surprised before. I really do like Georgia's weapons. What impressed me about Michigan is that they are extremely well coached. I cannot tell who won the coin toss because have they flipped the coin yet? No, they have. I have this thing on mute. I still don't know how to put on subtitles. Ooh, yeah.
But
there you go.
So it's a matter about setting the tone for Georgia. Can you get the run game going? Of course, Georgia has a 3-headed monster of running backs that is led by Zamir White, who's going to be going into the draft, as well as the younger brother of Dalvin Cook, James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a very close, low-scoring game. Something maybe in about the 23-20 range. Georgia's odds have gone up by a point. It's now 7.5. What's our over-under looking like right now?
We got a
over-under is 46.
Ooh.
I think this game could be a sneaky over. As the camera shows Jordan Davis, who is an absolute hulking machine of a man. These fireworks are probably going to be going off throughout the night. I mean, they sell them in Costco out here, so come on.
Wow, there's some sites had the number as big as 8.5. That was wild. I have the number at 45.5. So yeah, should be a fun one. Get to see some future first-round picks on both sides. Of course, Zach mentioned Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo. We have Jordan Davis and the likes for Georgia. So what a time to be alive, everyone. Georgia, Michigan, college football semifinal. Let's do it.
I mean, it is a beautiful night here in South Florida. 75 and clear up here, and you got the windows cracked open. It has just been the best weather week of the year down in South Florida. It's been 81, 82. Michigan's dancing. They got the folding chairs above their heads. This is going to be a really good game. Off we go.
Oh,
so
boys,
Georgia gets the ball first. And that's good kickoff coverage by the Wolverines. They'll start at their own 18. Here comes the mailman. this is almost feels like a good thing that Stetson Bennett's a senior because, like, he is a good player. By no means should he be starting at quarterback for who was the number one team in America over a good chunk of the season. But something I do like about Stetson Bennett, he has a very surprising amount of mobility. He's got that stealth speed. It doesn't show often, but let's see if Michigan's going to stop the rushing attack early, and it doesn't look like that's the case. Already, right ahead to Zamir White and 9 yards in the first play. Georgia's offensive line, also a really, really, really underrated bunch. This is what intrigued me so much about this game. It is two very well-coached teams that get by not on flash or on the sheer amount of talent or crazy offensive explosiveness. I'll get to the Michigan offensive side of the ball when they have it. Meanwhile, Georgia's working with tempo, and they're already almost up to midfield. The RPO, they like to run a lot of that with Bennett and A.D. Mitchell. He's only a freshman, too. You can't leave him all alone. So already Michigan is getting that, all right, you're playing an SEC team. Welcome to the show. But I don't think this is going to be a constant. Even if Georgia goes down the field and scores here, I don't think this is going to be Georgia's offense just dropping dimes on Michigan all night. I think Michigan will adjust throughout the night. Oh, boy, Hutchinson almost – oh, my goodness. That is a ridiculous catch. And Georgia's in the red zone. And my man, someone who is going to be possibly a top 10 pick a few years from now, that's Brock Bowers. Huge freshman tight end out of Napa Valley, California. Was thrown a little bit over his head. He had beaten it's like almost a wheel route that sent him down the field. Went up, tipped it to himself. I can't even analyze here. Georgia's just clicking.
Yeah, an unreal season for Bowers, of course, 12 total touchdowns, almost 800 yards receiving. Yeah, he's that next in line of the Hawkinson type of potential top 10 pick as a tight end. So huge play there. So good stuff for Bowers. Good stuff for Georgia to start out here.
He's not your Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller kind of glorified wide receiver. He's a tight end. He blocks. He's a crucial part of the run game. He's a crucial part of the short passing game. But Georgia's already in the red zone, and I think a lot of people like me, and I got to run for a second after this drive because dinner is on the table for me.
Oh, boy. It's my time to shine, baby.
It is your time to shine. Well, Zamir White's time to shine. Third down and short, very short. But I got to say, Georgia came out pissed off. And I'm sure they've heard a lot of it. This team got punched in the mouth against Alabama after not losing all season. And I'm going to go with the old Nick Saban quote here, the rat poison. You got to – don't consume the rat poison. Georgia consumed the rat poison before the SEC championship game, and they fell victim to it. But I'm sure they've been hearing the entire month of December, oh, Michigan, they finally beat Ohio State. They finally this, they finally that. This is Georgia's chance to prove that they weren't a fluke.
Right.
Third and short, and this is blown dead immediately. Timeout?
Looks like it. I went to a commercial break.
I'm going to take a quick timeout because my French onion soup is getting ridiculously cold. So, Splash, it's your time to shine.
Yeah. Oh, boy, it is my time to shine, boys. So I want to focus on one particular matchup that I think is going to be the storyline of the day. Michigan comes into today with a dynamic duo of running backs with Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. Haskins, of course, 20 rushing touchdowns. Corum added 11. Haskins about 1,300 rushing yards. Corum over 900. How does that fare against one of the best run defenses I've ever seen, with this Georgia team led by Jordan Davis? When he's on the field, Georgia allows nothing. allow 2.5 yards to play, 3 yards to play. You're not doing jack squat against them. But when he's off the field, he only plays about half of the snaps. When he's off the field, that's when Michigan needs to take the initiative. And that's when if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I might say, hey guys, let's run the ball a little bit more when Jordan Davis isn't, big number 99 isn't on the middle of that interior. Because, hey, any extra yards you get when Jordan Davis is off the field, any sort of tempo you run with him on or off the field, that disrupts Georgia. That disrupts what they want to do. And that can really throw off your game plan if you're Georgia defensively. So if I'm Michigan, regardless of how this drive ends, you want to use Jordan Davis against Georgia and say either he's on the field getting worn out or he's off the field not affecting anything. And if Michigan can establish a rhythm with that, if Cade McNamara can make a big throw or two, and Haskins has another dominant game like he had against Ohio State, like he said all season long for the Wolverines, if he can do that, Michigan can control this game and make sure Jordan Davis isn't a game wreck or Heisman candidate kind of guy that he was the entire season. So that's what's going to make him a top 15 to top 20 pick, even though he's playing, 45, 50% of the snaps every week. So we are back. Georgia has a 3rd and 1 deep in Michigan territory. Last play was blown dead. Georgia timeout. We have 11:29 to go in the first quarter of the Capital One Orange Bowl. Got to get some sponsors in here. So got some motion. Michigan is frantically trying to match up. Single back set. Pounds ahead, and that'll be a first down for the Dogs. Moving inside the 10 will be 1st and goal as we tick towards 11 minutes to play. And several guys in motion before the snap. Bennett goes under center. Michigan's frantically waving over guys, do this, do that, and then just right up the gut. Right up the gut for who is the running back? I'm like 30 feet away from the TV. It's just like I got I got nothing here. So Georgia has a 1st and goal, just under 11 minutes to go. They are on the 9. Bennett, quick little read, and there's Bowers sprinting into the corner. That's a touchdown. That's his 13th of the season, 12th receiving. He's up over 800 yards on the season. A 9-yard touchdown for the freshman sensation, future top tight end out of the, I believe, 2024 draft, maybe 2023. I'm not sure. Can't think if he's a redshirt, but he's going to be a stud one day on Sundays. Today's a Friday. He's a stud, and it is 6-0 Georgia. Let me pop up the banner at the bottom. It is 6-0 Georgia. Georgia 6. If I can capitalize Michigan 0. There you go. And Georgia splits the sticks on the extra point. So a big 7-0 lead. Not really a big lead, but a 7-0 lead. Hot start for Georgia. Walk right down the field. That is the most touchdown receptions in school history by a Georgia player. Brock Bowers, congratulations. And remember, he's only a freshman, folks. If you're ever going to see a tight end win the Heisman, another tight end win the Heisman, might be Brock Bowers next year. Who knows? I might look at Brock Bowers Heisman odds. Let's Brock Bowers Heisman odds. Because we might be looking at, okay, he's plus 20,000. Well, that's for this year. 2022. Oh, wait. Nope, that is for next year. All right, so let's go through some of these odds, some of these Georgia players. Anyone in this game, really. We got JT Daniels plus 4,000. Zamir White plus 5,000. We got Cade McNamara plus 10,000. Blake Corum plus 10,000. And I'm looking for Mr. Bowers. There we go. Brock Bowers, a rare tight end, plus 20,000. So, yeah. I mean, if you want like a super dark horse, I roll with Brock Bowers because you know he's going to get the production. And yes, there have been tight ends to win the Heisman, Leon Hart and Larry Kelly. Leon Hart played for Notre Dame. Larry Kelly played for Yale. It's crazy to think about it. It's crazy to think about it, but we've had tight ends win the Heisman. Hasn't happened in 50 some odd years, and a tight end has not made it into the top 10 since 1977. So it's been a while. And only one guy since 1968. So a rough day there for tight ends. But Brock Bowers might have a shot next year. Don't say I told you so, because he's probably not going to win the Heisman. But that's okay. I've got a flag here. A false start on Michigan. Can't be given Georgia, 5 extra yards there. It's hard enough to convert on 1st and 10, but when you have a 1st and 15, it gets really difficult against these elite defenses. Georgia is perhaps the best defense in college football. Pick a number. They're probably leading the country at it. They allowed 83 points in SEC play, or the first 12 games of the season. So entering the Alabama game, they'd allowed it just 83 points. And there goes Cade McNamara. That'll be a first down for the Wolverines, showing off the wheels. He only ended the season with about 300 rushing yards, but what a run there. I'm sorry, 300. I meant 30, not 300. He almost doubled his season rushing total there. Just escapes up the gut. Run. That's a huge first down. Dives forward for extra yardage. Move those chains there for the Wolverines. Those are the kind of plays you need to have against Georgia when you're behind the sticks. And they're going to go flea flicker McNamara, and he's going to just dump it off to Haskins. So Haskins is going to gain a couple. Keys for Michigan: if you can break a tackle, gain a couple yards, stay out of 3rd and longs, stay out of 2nd and longs, stay out of 1st and 15s, 1st and 20s. If you figure that out and you can continue to move the ball, because Georgia is going to thrive on forcing you into these stupid situations, right? Forcing you into 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. That's when Georgia is going to, let Jordan Davis come eat, So if you can force Georgia to play on their heels defensively, I think you can score against Georgia. We saw what Alabama did a couple weeks ago. Just lay the wood on them. And Michigan is moving the ball furiously right now. So great run there. I believe that is, I can't see, Edwards. Great run by Edwards on first down, or to pick up a first down.
Boom.
Hey, he's back.
He's back in a little bit less. Oh, I think you might be a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm a tad bit ahead of you. So while you were gone, I touched on Brock Bowers' Heisman odds next year, plus 20,000. I touched on the 2 tight ends to ever win the Heisman, and I talked about how
tight end to win the Heisman?
It was Jerry Kelly. Was it Jerry Kelly, a guy that played for Yale?
Yeah, so it's probably a long time ago.
Yeah, a guy hasn't finished in the top 10 since 1977, and he's the only guy to finish in the top 10 as a tight end since 1968. So it's been a while. And Michigan is moving the ball here. Cade McNamara had a beautiful scramble on 1st and 15.
That was a great read by McNamara, especially after the false start. Mm-hmm. Really, what a job so far by Michigan to really snap out of that little bad bit of momentum. I just want to see, because there was so much talk going really into that SEC championship that nobody would be able to move the ball in Alabama. And
you mean Georgia?
I mean on Georgia, excuse me. And what is so funny is you look back at the teams that they had played, none of them were very good.
Mm-hmm.
The best team they played really was Clemson. And yeah, I mean, I get it. Clemson won the Cheez-It Bowl, but that is not an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination.
I do think at some point we're going to have to touch on how bad of an interception Brock Purdy had.
Oh boy, that was not a good look for McNamara there.
Oh, was it batted at the line there on 3rd and 4?
Didn't look like it. It just looked like it was thrown behind him.
I think on a replay it was like off a fingertip.
Oh no, got the fingertip. There you go. I
see Mr. Jim Harbaugh is channeling the male fortitude of his younger brother, John. Of course, going for 2 a lot, going for it on 4th down.
You play to win the game.
We play to win the game, absolutely. Because it's scary. Because
incomplete.
Yeah, because if you convert there, you keep the chains moving.
Good job picking up the blitz, but it wasn't a great throw. That's a killer right there because Michigan was moving the ball really well. And he looked for Eric All as tight end and just overshot him a little bit to the left. And you can tell Michigan came into this game maybe not necessarily confident, but cocky.
Right. I think there's absolutely a certain swagger that they came in and said, like, we can move the ball. We can beat this team. We're not listening to the 7.5 point BS that the odds, the bookies are saying. They're saying, like, we're equals today and we can go beat this team from Georgia. So rough way to end the first drive there. 4th and 4, fail on 4th down, give the ball in decent field position to Georgia. But if there's any sort of takeaway there, Georgia did just walk down the field in their defense, but you have to look at Georgia and say, well, are they an actually elite offensive team, or is it just because they played UAB and Vanderbilt, right? And some of these weird SEC schools and a very weak, a comparatively weak SEC, because they've been stinking it up in bowl season.
No, it was not a good SEC bowl season so far, and I say that as somebody that watched my school lose on a buzzer-beating field goal to Army in the Armed Forces Bowl. That was not fun, really. And credit to Army, they played a very good game. But the SEC, they're 2-5, maybe 3-5 if you count Oklahoma. But I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Georgia, in fairness to Georgia, they are 7th in scoring, so they did take advantage of whatever easy schedule I want to throw out there. But can you prove it here against like a top 5 team in the country, the number 2 ranked team in the country?
But this is a devil's advocate thing here. Because I think, going back to the earlier game, I think this Alabama team is the weakest Alabama team we've seen in a decade. Which may also speak to the fact that there might be the most parity we have seen in college football this year in a decade. Because I don't think anybody is that good.
Yeah, I think I get where you're coming from. I feel like I have a different perspective because Alabama does have a star quarterback, and I tend to value having a superstar under center in these situations because you can have that, you can kind of cover up warts around your team. Like,
absolutely.
With Bryce Young, okay, you're down your number 2 receiver, one of the best receivers in college football, and John Mechie. Who cares? You can just still steamroll Cincinnati. You can still steamroll Georgia after he went out of the SEC title game. But then you have these other teams that Georgia, 2 to 50 or 2 to however large college rosters are, is probably better than Alabama. But do you have an X factor at quarterback? No,
you don't. Here's my take on Alabama this year. They're Alabama. Of course they're going to be good. I think the last 3 or 4 national championship winning teams would cream the 2021 Alabama Crimson Tide. I think last year's Bama would kill them. I think LSU with Burrow would kill them.
Oh, yeah, that would be fair. That would be fair.
I don't think this Alabama team, in the grand scheme of things, is this good, which to the naked eye, you might say, well, damn, that means they're super beatable. They might not be.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like almost like this year in the NFL that, okay, the Packers might be the best team, but they should have lost to the Ravens, in all honesty. They probably should have lost to...
Packers are not the best team in the NFL this year.
Ooh, we're coming with the NFL hot takes on a college football show.
While the Georgia Bulldogs have the ball just inside midfield, and it's a little bit, oh boy, there goes James Cook. Big play, and the Dogs are knocking on the door again. But to get back to what I was saying, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the NFL this year. I think they're the best team in the NFL coming into this season. And it's almost a slow burn, and something we've seen a lot with some of those Patriots teams a few years back with Brady, where they'll start off slow, a couple games, a couple bad losses, a couple close wins against teams that they maybe should have blown out. They only beat the Giants by 3. And you start saying, I don't know, is this the year where maybe they fall apart? And the next thing you know, boom, they rattle off 7 in a row.
Yep. And they are great game. Bengals Chiefs coming up on Sunday.
That's a 1:00 game. That's a travesty that was not flexed in the prime time.
Yeah, and especially when you look at Kirk Cousins testing positive for COVID, he's not going to be out there. So we get, I believe, Sean Mannion is officially the starter.
Is it not Kellen Mond?
I believe it is officially Sean Mannion.
Oregon State Beaver legend Sean Mannion.
And bad NFL quarterback Sean Mannion.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Oh, man. Poor Minnesota. Granted, I don't think they were going to make the playoffs anyways, but it is unfortunate you have Cousins go down. Because Cousins has been very good this season. He had a stinker last week, but other than really that, he's been very good this season.
It must be frustrating for Vikings fans, and I do think that Mike Zimmer gets the axe after this season, that you have top 5 running back in the sport, a top 5 receiver in the sport. Georgia gets another first.
They're back in the red zone.
Dogs are in the red zone, but you have Dalvin Cook, you have Justin Jefferson, you have a defense that is not terrible. And you still can't get past mediocrity. And that must be so frustrating.
Because you're loaded with talent. You should have a good defensive coach. And then you screw it all up every year. And Danielle Hunter has missed the majority of the last 2 seasons. And Eric Kendricks isn't quite what he used to be. And Harrison Smith isn't quite what he used to be. You just have all these pieces that you should have in place to be really good defensively, and then you have Jefferson.
Oh boy, we got a double pass! Touchdown! Oh my goodness.
That's how you solve the Stetson Bennett problem. You don't let him throw the football.
There's no problem with Stetson Bennett if your running back's throwing the ball.
Oh my goodness.
That is A.D. Mitchell with the 18-yard touchdown. I couldn't tell who got the handoff, whether it was Zamir White or – no, it was McIntosh. It was the third guy.
What a throw. I don't know if Stetson Bennett makes that throw, in all honesty.
That's a great throw. That's also a phenomenal route by Mitchell, who's cutting in towards the post, and then all of a sudden he stops in a dime, and, man.
Yeah, unreal. Unreal. If you're a Georgia fan, this is an unreal start. You drive down the field once, get a stop on defense, drive down the field again. You've had no issues moving the football. You stopped Michigan on a key down, and you're up 2 scores. And now you say, all right, come and get us. You kind of force Michigan, traditionally this run-heavy team. Now you're like, hey, we're going to stab you and force you to do something that you're uncomfortable doing. And it's time for Cade McNamara. It's put up or shut up time for number 12.
Who are the 2 teams that had leads on Georgia at the end of the first quarters of their respective games? Those would be Alabama and Mizzou. So we're good at something here.
Yeah, great work. Yeah. Well, Missouri did lead for about 5 minutes, and then Georgia answered with 42 seconds left in the quarter.
Wow. I got to admit, I've been right a bunch of times since I started university. I've been wrong a bunch of times. I have been very, very, very wrong on this game so far.
And my sadly, my overwhelming pessimism has been totally correct.
14-0 Dogs. And already this feels like you have to score on this drive if you're Michigan, or else
you could get boat raced today by Stetson Bennett.
I say this as a college football fan. I really don't want another Michigan or another Georgia Alabama title game because we already know how Alabama matches up with Georgia this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, and you see that, you watch the game again, and like, okay, who cares? There's no Mechie. You have this Alabama team, and you spent 5 minutes talking about how this isn't the same Alabama team it usually is. They're not as good as they were last year, or as good as they were in 19 or 18, or pick a year, and they're probably not as good as they were. And then you're going to go see Alabama Georgia Part 2, and you're just like, okay, this is going to be the Walmart version of was it the 2017 title game where Tua came in?
That was one of the most unbelievable games. The 2017 title, yes.
Like, that's top notch. And then this one's like, okay, Bryce Young is going to dot up the Georgia defense. And it's like, okay, great. Again.
Well, here's something worth talking about. And this is, I think it's a good discussion for the next drive. There's been so much talk about expanding the college football playoff. Do you really need to? Because you go through I'm going to go through every single semifinal game that has ever been played, and I can count on one hand the amount of good semifinals we've had.
Yeah, I think there have been some quote unquote upsets, right? With the Zeke Elliott team at 14.
That was a phenomenal game. That was a great game. But
and then it turned into a little bit of a blowout near the end when Zeke broke off another big run. But you see a lot of these 1 versus 2 title games. You see a lot of LSU goes undefeated, Clemson goes undefeated, Alabama goes undefeated. It's like, well, really? And it just...
All right. Let's go back to the start of the playoff era. 2015, Oregon beats Florida State 59-20.
One of the worst games in the history of organized sports.
Oh, that was one of the most hilarious games in the history of organized sports because it completely...
You're not wrong.
It quashed any hope that Jameis Winston was going to be a good quarterback in one play. That was a pretty terrible game if you're a college football fan. If you're an Oregon fan, like I grew up, it was a great game.
Yeah.
The other game, of course, Ohio State beats Alabama 42-35. That's a classic game. That's one. 2016, Clemson beats Oklahoma 37-17. That's a stinker. Mm-hmm. Alabama blanks Michigan State 38-0.
Oh, disaster. That was the primetime game, too. That was just outright disaster.
Well, you want to talk about disasters. 2017, Alabama beats Washington in the early game, 24-7. The night game, though, that was the notorious 31-0 Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, I was actually turned into a meme. On uSTADIUM, shout out to Tyler. He made a meme because some Ohio State fans were talking, right? And then he made a meme, and it was my face on each of the paws, or each of the essentially fingers on the Clemson paw.
That was a brutal game. Speaking of brutal games, the year after, 2018, the early game, Alabama beats Clemson 24-6 in the Sugar Bowl. The nightcap, however, one of the best games in college football history, a rare classic in the semis, the Rose Bowl between Oklahoma and Georgia.
All-timer.
One of those that you remember exactly where you were when you were watching. Meanwhile, Cade Macton, there's a first down. Okay.
Oh,
all right, Michigan, I see you.
So, gun to your head, USC Texas or Georgia Oklahoma?
Well, it's obviously USC Texas because that only determined a semi. Of course, the national championship after the Georgia-Oklahoma game was a classic.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten some very, very good national championships since the dawn of the playoff era.
Yeah, thank you, Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence to a lesser degree.
2015, the Kenyon. Oh boy, another sack. Who got in there? That was Beal Jr. It's like Jordan Davis might have blown up the interior. This Georgia front, and one of the best part, Davis wasn't even on the field.
Oh, yeah, that's a heartbreaker for Michigan because I was mentioning earlier that when Davis is on the field, you just take the yards when you can get them, and then when he's off the field, tempo, and just try to make sure he's not wrecking games. But if you can't complete passes when he's not on the field, you are going to be screwed. And holy Christmas.
Whatever Michigan's offensive game plan was, it has been blown up so quickly.
It all took one fourth down conversion.
You're watching me in real time right now. I am absolutely flabbergasted. I really turned the corner on Harbaugh this year. I am stunned that this is getting out of hand as quickly as it is. However,
how did Nakobe Dean make that play?
Because he's the best linebacker in college football.
Okay, good point.
Wait, I think you're ahead of me. Was it on the third down? Oh my goodness, that's a ridiculous tackle.
I was just reacting to the holy crap.
So just to break down what happened, it was a screen to Blake Corum and Nakobe Dean. And Blake Corum is not a slowpoke in the slightest. Nakobe Dean might have covered 15 yards horizontally on that play from right to left. And he gets into the backfield and wraps Corum up by the ankles.
That's going to translate to Sundays. That's let's say, I don't know, he goes to the Steelers. That's tackling Lamar Jackson. That's tackling Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb.
Please don't put Nakobe Dean on the Steelers.
Oh, it was the first thing that came to mind because Devin Bush sucks. So,
well, there's also a part of me that thinks that Nakobe Dean is going to be the second best linebacker in this class.
Who might number one be?
Huge Devin Lloyd guy.
Okay.
The two guys that since the start of my career at uSTADIUM this season, and you'll notice this once we get into future seasons, I develop like big draft crushes.
Mm-hmm.
And every week I'll be like, hey, you should probably be paying attention to this guy.
It was Matt Corral early in the season. I remember the good old days.
It was Matt Corral early in the season, but it was also George Karlaftis at Purdue.
Yes.
And Devin Lloyd at Utah. And Lloyd started the conversation maybe as a second-round pick. Now he's likely going top 20. He is this year's version of Jamin Davis. Someone that has just risen up the ranks. But in terms of like sheer talent, I think Nakobe Dean's upside is higher.
Tend to agree with you there.
What commends me about Devin Lloyd is that he's a leader. And I think you're going to see a lot of that tomorrow night in the Rose Bowl, especially without a lot of Ohio State's top talents.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's a leadership statement that he's playing, right?
Yes.
You know, you could easily opt out of that game because I mentioned on the app that some of these bowl games are pretty pointless. And I've gotten some backlash on it, but at a certain point, what are you playing for? We watched Pitt, Michigan State last night, and Pitt's number 2 quarterback, Kenny Pickett opted out. Their number 2 quarterback gets drilled, knocked out of the game. That could have been Kenny Pickett. That could have been Kenneth Walker. That could have been any number of like first-round players. And you just like, well, that sucks. That's credence to Christian McCaffrey opting out back in 2016. And credence to Pickett opting out and Walker opting out and all of the Ohio State guys opting out. So big cojones for playing in a game that is it really going to adjust or is it going to change your draft position? Probably not for the better. Might change it for the worse because you're playing against a theoretically lower caliber OSU than you usually would, or you could get injured. Hopefully it's not get injured. That would be a catastrophe.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of putting out these, even in these New Year's Six games, because I still remember Jalen Smith against Ohio State. That was still
tragic, an
absolute tragedy. And I still think if he doesn't get hurt, he's a ridiculously good player instead.
Yeah, he would have been a first-round block, yes, and you sap like 1% of the athleticism in a super athlete. And in the NFL, you need every ounce of athleticism you can possibly have, unless you're Tom Brady. Although, hey, Tom had like 5 runs against Buffalo that I don't think I've ever seen him do. So that props to him. But the NFL is such like a thin margin of error that one ACL injury when you were in high school or in college or in a meaningless bowl game, just that just takes the wind out of your sails. And just to use a Madden reference, the difference between a 90 speed and an 89 speed is massive. That was the fastest get off I think I've ever seen.
I'm not going to really get into it, but I have an inkling why all these Utes are playing. If my inkling is right after the Rose Bowl, I'll definitely dive into it a little bit more. But
okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I think, and this is just a guess.
Is it what I think it is?
I'm not sure how many years Kyle Whittingham has left in him.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I have his Wikipedia page pulled up. I wanted to make sure he was still the coach at Utah.
I wonder if he'd be calling it a career after the Rose Bowl. That is just a guess.
Huh. That's great because I grew up watching Whittingham, those awesome Utah team that beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl in 2008, the year they lost to Tebow, the SEC title game. Like he's like Chris Peterson, like those are my guys. Gary Patterson, those are my guys, and I feel like I'm losing some of my childhood right now when you have even the inkling that these could be one of his final games at Utah.
First really good draft tweet out of the night from Daniel Jeremiah. Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean reminds me a lot of Jonathan Vilma coming out of Miami. Speaking of important draft-eligible players, there's Aiden Hutchinson finally doing something. Nice tackle behind the line of scrimmage, but I agree with the Vilma comp quite a bit. It's that side-to-side athleticism that just blows your mind. And man, Aiden Hutchinson taking down Brock Bowers one-on-one, that is not easy.
Yeah, just the athleticism there, ridiculous. That's why that's why Hutchinson is gaining steam to be that number one pick over the incumbent all season long, all draft process was Thibodeau. Maybe a quarterback slips in if someone like pops off like a Joe Burrow. It's like Thibodeau, and now it's like, hey, Michigan has a guy. Screw it. Screw you, Ohio State, and your Chase Youngs and your Bosa brothers.
If somebody, I like Aiden Hutchinson. If someone takes Hutchinson over Thibodeau, that is still a huge mistake. And I like Kayvon Thibodeau a lot more than I think. I think people have cooled on him because you see a lot of these mock drafts now putting Hutchinson over Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm. I edited an article at 3 a.m, and it was one of my writers said, "Don't draft Kayvon Thibodeau number one overall." And I'm like, okay, that was a fascinating read. Like I get a lot of what he's saying, and you could have the Jadeveon Clowney comp if you're Houston. Houston's probably not going to get the number one pick, but the Jadeveon Clowney comp of, well, he's this ball of clay that never developed into anything, and Hutchinson's like more polished and does this and does that, and it's like, well, does it really matter? Are you going to pass up on that much potential?
Aiden Hutchinson's the third best edge rusher in the class. I think Karlaftis is better than him.
What?
And this is not a knock on Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's a phenomenal locker room presence. He's a great leader. But I think if you draft him over Thibodeau, you're making a mistake.
Fascinating.
And I'm looking at this mock draft right now from sportingnews.com. They have the Jaguars taking Aiden Hutchinson over Kayvon Thibodeau.
And Thibodeau goes to Detroit. Yes.
Oh boy. If this happens, I think every single Jets fan that is a member of our company would just spontaneously combust. Kyle Hamilton at 4, Derek Stingley at 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think
I've kind of penciled in Tyler Linderbaum with the Seattle pick, but Seattle's been so bad that it might not even be. You might just get two blue chippers. Well, I'm not saying Linderbaum isn't a blue chipper,
if that happens, I think Sonny and Snacks would be like the greatest show ever after that draft.
They would be on live. Because they would have 2 top 8 picks. Yeah,
I think
we're gonna have a popping live stream this year or next year. April 2022.
Only 4 months away. They showed draft commercials during the first game, and it's like, wow, draft already.
Yeah, I know. Right? It's wild.
They have the Giants getting Tyler Linderbaum.
Ooh, I mean, wherever he goes, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be awesome.
He's the best center coming out of the draft since maybe Nick Mangold.
Mm-hmm. Like just insane. Like the like different position, but it's kind of like Quentin Nelson was. It doesn't matter that he plays guard; he's just so good that you take him. It does not matter that he plays guard; just take him. So Linderbaum is the exact same way. He plays center though.
Pride of Red Bank Catholic High School.
Huh?
Okay, 3rd and 3 for Georgia. Now they flipped fields. Start of the second quarter. And it's caught on a slant. I think George Pickens might have been interfered with as well. That's a great catch.
And if you're Michigan, you cannot fall down 21-0. You just cannot.
And that was almost the play that really might have sealed the drive. Lucky for Michigan, there was a drop and Wolverine is down. Yeah.
That is Hassan Haskins that is down, I believe.
No, that is not Hassan Haskins.
It is not?
Haskins is a running back. I don't know why. Haskins will be down in the back, the defensive side of the ball. Who is that?
Hold up. I'm very... Okay,
Haskins,
it sure looked like Haskins on the back. Is there a Hawkins?
Yes, it's Hawkins.
Okay. I misread the S as a W. I was very confused. It's like, Michigan's on defense. Why is Haskins hurt? Okay.
Brad
My
Hawkins
mistake.
out of Camden, New Jersey, Suffield Academy, Connecticut. A lot of Northeasterners on this Wolverine roster. So a lot of Jersey representation. And Jersey has always been a big feeder for Michigan, of course. One of the greatest Michigan players in recent memory, Jabril Peppers, out of Modern Day Prep in Bergen County. I have been to one Michigan game in my life. I had a friend in high school whose parents are both Rutgers alums, and they took me and my friend to Rutgers, Michigan. I was a junior in high school. If you remember what happened that night, Michigan won 78-0.
I remember getting that notification on my phone. Because you don't see 78 very often. You get a 70 occasionally.
To nothing. Oh. And I remember the biggest story coming out of that was the next morning, there was a steakhouse in Ann Arbor, and they had a deal where it's like, the Monday after Michigan wins, however much the Wolverines win by, you get that percentage off your meal. And
they probably went out of business
shut
the
down
next day.
For the day. Just like, we can't do this.
No.
We can't give everybody 78% off.
I don't know if I've told this story on air before, but in 1984 for the Olympics, McDonald's ran a promo that for every gold medal the U.S. won at the LA Olympics, they would give away free Big Macs the next day. And they would give away fries and drinks for silvers and bronzes. Well, the Soviets boycotted the Olympics, so the Americans won a record amount of gold, silvers, bronze, and total medals. So McDonald's took quite a big hit from the Soviets just opting out, or boycotting. So I get vibes for that they kind of bit off more than they could chew, and Michigan just ransacked Rutgers that day.
Yeah, Rutgers lost earlier today in a game that they weren't even supposed to be playing in. I think Rutgers is going to wind up being good under Schiano.
Part two.
Electric
Boogaloo. Because, yes, Schiano's first tenure with Rutgers, if Sports Reference will load.
Well, his overall record with Rutgers is 68-67. But a lot of that was building the program up. He started 2-9, 1-11, 5-7, 4-7. And then it finally flipped to 7-5 in 2005 before they went 11-2 in 2006. Meanwhile, Georgia's moving the ball again, and it's like Jackson just ran over a Wolverine.
Yeah, Schiano is now 5-2 in bowl games. Did not realize that. It's crazy to think that at one point Rutgers was a top 10 team in the AP poll 2 years in a row.
What I didn't know is that a Wolverine is a real animal.
Yes. Well, to be fair, I have family from Michigan, so like I may or may not know these things. What is going on?
Honestly, it looks kind of cute. I can't tell what it is. It's a.
Do I need to pull up a Chanticleer, like the Chanticleer style? Let me see what it is on Wikipedia.
Like, it's not a
Wolverpedia.
It's a
elongated animal.
Yeah. It's also referred to. Wolverine is a Latin for glutton.
Huh.
Well, right
Or
now the
quick
Wolverine
hatch.
fans are just gluttons for punishment. Here comes Hutchinson. Oh my! Remember what I said about Stetson Bennett being sneaky athletic?
Yeah, there's the sneaky athleticism, just making all the moves. Oh my goodness. It's like when you finally learn how to use right trigger in a Madden game and you just like explode for some reason. Oh man.
I just
Great
got
run
for the.
down near the 25 or down to the 27.
I
Great
got
run
a,
there for
I got a new Xbox for the holidays, and I got Madden 22. And let me tell you, it's honestly kind of great because the players actually run like real players.
I've played, I believe, 9.5 hours of Madden. So we're vibing.
And I feel like that's probably a good note to pay our respects to legendary John Madden, who, I'll get this out as quickly as possible. But as someone that's going into, someone offer the dog treats.
Oh dear.
Yep. But yeah, he gets very excited. Someone says treats, and the dog just goes ballistic. But as someone that's going into sports broadcasting, my field, it would not have been. It's not the same without him. And have you watched the documentary?
I have not. I couldn't access Fox like the day it came on, or for like the time slot it was on, and then we figured out the TV so I could watch the football games later. But I have not. I plan to as soon as I can. But it just the vibes I've gotten from the people that have watched it, it's
incredible.
Yeah, it is like magical, and it's crazy to think that how he revolutionized the game in just about every facet you can imagine. Like, he is an excellent coach, of course, but he's an all-timer in the booth, and then the brand that he's built for football, and not only the money associated with football, but how many people he's taught about football, whether that's through his broadcasting or whether that's through the darn video game that is, say what you will about Madden being a bad game now, if you want to call it a bad game, but he was using old playbooks in Madden to teach kids these concepts. And that was teach fans these concepts. And that's just revolutionary. Even now that you have these real life plays in the game, you have real life concepts, you have real life zones and real life coverages, real life routes, real life things these teams do. And it's such an immersive experience, even if the game sucks, so.
Well, speaking of which, Georgia just added on another field goal, make it 17-0 here in the second quarter. But to me, what stood out the most about Madden as a person was that football is a very complicated game. And I don't want to say that he dumbed it down for people.
I think he made it accessible.
But he has taken these crazy concepts and was able to interpret them for people that were maybe newer to the game in such an amazing way. There's the innovation. There's a telestrator. There's.
I need to look at the meme. There was a John Madden telestration heaven meme that I didn't get a chance to look at, but it was, as far as I'm concerned, like, that is just absolutely perfect. Just the perfect encapsulation of John Madden, just having having him draw across heaven as if a play is happening. So let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Darn it. Yes, we have fun telestration. This is a pretty fun telestration.
That's incredible. That's really incredible.
Oh man. And someone on the app, I believe, touched on this, but it's crazy to think that nowadays, if Madden's career was transplanted from like the 70s to now, and he retired early because of health concerns. I don't know if it's as well received. I don't know if that's, or might be better received with the era of like Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles saying, hey, I have to take a step back. Calvin Ridley, I have to take a step back and focus on me first. So I wonder how that would play in a modern stand.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, it's almost tough to wax on that what if, because I really do think that who he was as a person kind of overrules that. And every analyst that has stepped into a booth for football since John Madden has taken a piece of him with him. And yes, some people do it better than others. Like I watch a lot of football, and I still think, and this is a personal opinion, I think that Kirk Herbstreit's the best analyst, college or pro.
Okay. I don't think I agree with you, but fair.
I think the best pro analyst is Georgia kicks it off. I think the best pro analyst is probably Tony Romo.
I love Romo. Love Romo.
But
I also like Greg Olson, and I think Aqib Talib just is hilarious. So I don't know. It's maybe not as football enriching, but I think Talib is such like almost like a Hall of Fame menace. That's like, it just works.
When you put him in a booth with Gus Johnson, it is magical.
It is. It is like, I would listen to them talk about anything. I'd go to a grocery store and they like analyze if I'm going to pick Rice Krispies or Frosted Flakes. I will listen to Gus Johnson do that.
Well, there's Jordan Davis. That man should not be able to move as quickly as he just did. I'm going to watch this play again. I don't have a telestrator. Herbstreit's got a telestrator.
Yeah, lucky guy. Lucky guy.
Blake Corum is not a slowpoke. And Jordan Davis did almost what Nakobe Dean just did. He moves right to left.
And Jordan Davis is what, 6'6", 360?
6'6", 360.
Allegedly 360.
And when he shows up at the combine in a couple months, that man is going to be able to, he's going to blow minds.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Also, shout out Eric in the chat. I've been listening for about 20 minutes. You guys have good conversation. Thanks for your support. Love the interaction.
Absolutely, bro. I got to say, I watched Jordan Davis play in person this year. Michigan's got a 3rd and 1. And when he first stepped out into the field for warmups, hey, first down for Michigan. Like, there was a part of me that was just like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Like, he's a football shape.
Like, you watch tape and it's one thing, and then you see him come out onto the field in person. You're like, wait a second, this guy can run?
Yeah. Like, he's a human? He looks like the Terminator. And then you throw the pads on, you throw the helmet on. It's like, what is this guy?
What size jersey does he wear? That's my question. Meanwhile,
over under 4.5 X's.
Not work. See, I like that Michigan runs the 2 QB system, and it works in the Big Ten. But I don't know if it works against Georgia, which is basically because the thing about the Dogs is that they play probably closer to an NFL-style team than anybody else in college football.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially
even more so than Alabama. This is an NFL team in training.
Agree.
Michigan shows up playing college football. Great players, but they do a lot through coaching. They do a lot through. Here's a deep ball. Does he have a man? He does. Finally,
there we go.
Michigan.
That is gigantic. You know, you force the field goal in the previous possession. Oh, Lord have mercy. You force the field goal in the previous possession so you don't go down 21-0. You get a little bit of that momentum that you lost back. And like, then you hit a play like that, get into the red zone. You finally move the football in a chunk. And you got to take advantage of it.
Roman Wilson. There you go. 42 yards. It was a good ball from Cade McNamara. And I am a Cade McNamara fan. was kind of cooled on him
Mm-hmm.
towards the start of the year. I didn't think he had the capability to beat Ohio State. I was very wrong about that. And speaking of Cade McNamara, he just got sacked. So I should probably bite my tongue.
Yeah. The tale of two plays.
The tale of two plays.
Just Nakobe Dean, the explosiveness there on the sack, just in a flash around the edge. Like that's what you want to see, you know, making plays in the biggest spots. That's why he's going to be a top 15, top 20 pick next year or in April.
Yeah, this is just a dominant display by Nakobe Dean. And once again, McNamara is just getting pressured over and over again. And he is so mobile. And that works against your Big Ten teams. It doesn't work against Georgia, Alabama. I came into this game thinking that Michigan was the only team that had the chance of beating Alabama this year. With 8:18 to go in the second quarter, I don't think that anymore.
No, it's not looking good today. It's crazy to think that
Michigan.
Alabama lost in College Station this year, so it's not this infallible Alabama team. But like you said earlier, there's parity in college football, but Alabama stands on top, even if they're not as comparatively strong as they usually are.
Absolutely. And it sucks that such a promising drive for Michigan is likely going to go in the way of a field goal attempt here on a 4th and mid-range, but excuse me, 4th and 9. It's a little bit longer than mid-range. But hey, Jake Moody is one of the best kickers in America, 22 of 24.
Nice.
Won the Lou Groza Award, which should have gone to Harrison Mevis from Mizzou, but I'll wax on poetic about him way more next season. 36 in the right hash, and it's down the middle. Would have been good from 50.
Now, what I need to do is start a punting podcast. Just watch punters just for like an hour.
Yeah.
I love punters. So, and I will change the score. Caught myself slipping there. We have a score change, everyone. Georgia 17, Michigan 3. Moody splits the sticks on a field goal. And Michigan, momentum. Uncle Mo. You stop Georgia on one end. You have a nice drive. You get that 40-yard pass play. Those are the kind of things that you keep hitting on. You're going to roll. But Nakobe Dean says, LOL, psych. Forces you into a 2nd and long, and you're not moving the football in 2nd and long against Georgia very often.
This Georgia defense, yes, they got burned by Alabama. They're still the Georgia defense.
Yes. It's just Alabama has Heisman Trophy winner, first-round picks everywhere on offense per usual. A guy that's probably going number 1 overall next year. We'll see what CJ Stroud has to say about that. But as of right now, the 2023 first number 1 overall pick is going to be Bryce Young. So when you have that at quarterback, okay. But when you have even like Will Levis, right, at Kentucky, I like him a lot. Kentucky did nothing for the most part against Georgia. Quarterbacks across the SEC, I kind of like them. And then they are disasters against Georgia because there's a difference between like NFL caliber quarterback and college caliber quarterback. SEC quarterbacks generally are like halfway solid, but they're not Bryce Young and they're not good enough to beat Georgia in any meaningful capacity.
Oh my gosh, this is great. I didn't see this before the game. Michigan's offensive line ran out onto the field with matching shirts that said run the damn ball. It's not going so well.
No, it's not. You have a legendary Georgia run defense on the other side, and you're just kind of like, really? Try to run the ball against them. Now, we haven't touched on it, but I am interested to see if we do get a Georgia-Alabama Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, if Alabama is going to go with the rolling B-Rob, Brian Robinson, massive game against Cincinnati. If maybe you say, hey, well, he killed Cincinnati. Do you want to try it against Georgia, or is it going to be another Bryce Young show?
You don't try it against Georgia. You do against Georgia what you did against Georgia last time is you beat him through the air. But without Mechie, I don't know about that.
What do you think the spread would be in that game? Georgia, Alabama, part 2.
I would favor Bama by 10.
10? Whoa. Okay, I was not expecting 10. I don't know if that's like available in Vegas, but what was the spread in the last game? Was it
Georgia was favored by, I think, a touchdown. I want to say Georgia was favored by 6 going into that game.
I think you're right. Yeah, it was 6.5. That I don't know if it changes 17 points, but I see where you're going with it. I would take Alabama to win that game. I don't think it would get all the way up to 10 because it was 14 today against Cincinnati, and I think we can reasonably assume Georgia, Vegas-wise, Georgia is better than Cincinnati, so it's not going to be 14. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's more than 6 or 7.
I feel bad betting against Bama right now. I don't trust betting against anybody that Nick Saban puts out of the field. I can't do it. I really can't do it. Let's see if Michigan can get a stop here. This game becomes a lot more interesting.
Yeah, Michigan will get the ball to begin the second half. So if you can get like one of those patented Belichick double dips, it can be 17-17. It can be 17-13. Even 17-9, 2 field goals is a success. Because you get just one stop against Georgia. You have about 6:30 to go now. You get a stop. You go down. And even any points at this point, any points are good for your offense. I did like the aggressiveness on the first drive going for it on 4th and 4. I know it didn't pan out. Analytics, whatever. It's a good decision there. And if you convert, then you're in great field position to score more points. But huge sequence of plays here for Michigan and for Georgia. If Georgia converts a first down here, you can start whittling that clock and say, hey, Michigan, we might have to punt on this drive, but you're going to have 3 minutes to drive 80 yards on our defense.
Well, here's the thing. If Michigan stops them on a 3rd and short here, then all of a sudden that whole conversation changes. And you're kind of smirking right now because I think you might be a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, I might be a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah.
Let's just say there's no punting on this drive.
Wait, what? Wow. On this drive?
Yeah, if Georgia has to punt on this drive, it'd be an absolute catastrophe.
Oh, no. Well, Stetson's working out of the shotgun.
Wow.
Oh, boy, he's going to go deep, isn't he? Oh,
I wish I could pause for 5 seconds and so we would be even.
James Cook on the El Bombe from Stetson Bennett. The mailman drops it right into the breadbasket of James Cook. How long was that passing play? 53 yards through the air. My, oh, my. Oh.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, anything but that, man. Anything but that. I
grill Stetson Bennett, but that's just a beautiful ball.
Yeah, same. It's like, look, I will absolutely. I've been on the Stetson Bennett is not a NFL caliber guy, not like a national championship guy like you have been, but he is balled out today. He has made plays when he needed to. He dropped that ball beautifully in the bucket. I'm surprised there wasn't PI on the very next play, but he's had the athleticism, make a couple guys miss, playing with some swagger, kind of sort of like a Taylor Heineke with Washington, what he's doing there. Not the most talented guy, but he can make it work in moments like this. And when you have an advantage on the rest of the field, that helps you too. So good drive, loading for Georgia, and this could be a backbreaker for Michigan.
Michigan's got to man up and force a turnover here, if any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this is a huge spot for Hutchinson, Ojabo. If you want to prove to the world that, hey, I'm seriously worth that number 1 pick, seriously worth that number 10 pick, wherever Ojabo goes, now is your chance. Now is your chance to punch the ball away from Stetson Bennett. Totally different ball game. You'd have about 4 minutes to drive the length of the field. Now, that's easy said than done, but
get a stop here. Maybe limit them to 3. Their field goal kicker is not great.
Better than Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's kicker is terrible.
Yeah.
That's
7 of 17.
All right, they're going to have to kick. Even though for the first time all game I get to say my favorite player's name, Lad McConkey, a.k.a. the Julian Edelman of the SEC.
It seems my Cavs are taking the Hawks to task today. That's good for my boys.
You're a Cavs fan?
Yes, go Cavs, baby.
Wow, I'm not the only one with an obscure NBA fandom here.
You're was it
I'm a
Nuggets?
Blazers fan.
Oh, it was Blazers. That's right.
All right, 28 yards from Podlesny, and he should make this. He does. So make it 20-3.
I got to change the score.
Favor of the Dogs. You got to get the what do you call it? The Sigum. You're from Georgia, aren't you?
Yes, born and raised in.
You ever been to a game?
I have not been to the hellhole known as Sanford Stadium.
Oh, don't call it a hellhole.
Look, I am very outspoken. I do not like Georgia. I do not like Georgia fans. I do not like Georgia players, even though one of my buddies in high school is on the team. Georgia, I have rooted against them every single game for as long as I can remember. Great stadium when I play in NCAA and dunk on them with my 64 overall Boise State Broncos.
I got to tell you, man, I've been to quite a few stadiums in my time, but Sanford's pretty spectacular.
I get it, but between the hedges, I get it. The iconic atmosphere in the SEC, but don't like anything to do with Georgia.
So, all right, I got to run for a little bit. I'll be back in a second.
All right, and
20-3 Georgia. You are watching. Man, I hope the national championship game is better.
Oh man,
before Michigan turns this thing around, but I'll be back in a
second. Yeah, it's been a rough start. So some Georgia stats. Bennett, 14 of 18, 165, touchdown. McIntosh came in, halfback pass, threw a dime to Mitchell for an 18-yard touchdown. Cook has been explosive through the air, 2 catches, 60 yards, tacked on 24 yards on the ground. Bennett had a nice 20-yard scramble early in the game. Zamir White has been held in check, 5 carries for 16 yards. Brock Bowers, 55 touchdown. You know what you're going to get from Brock Bowers. George Pickens, only the 1 catch, does have 9 yards. Heading over to Michigan, Cade McNamara, 7 of 10, 71 yards, and 4 carries for 6 yards. Did have the nice 18-yard run on a 1st and 15 after a false start. Hassan Haskins, 4 carries for 12 yards, not rolling. Blake Corum, 1 carry for -1 yards, and he has 1 catch for -2, not rolling there. Defensively, does ESPN not have defensive stats? That is okay. That is not what I want. Oh, well, not what I wanted to see. Well, that's inconvenient. Okay. Georgia is converted on 5 of 7 third downs. Michigan's 2 for 5, and they had the failed 4th down conversion on their opening drive. They're down 7-0. Get to midfield, 4th and 4. McNamara just misfires on the out route to the tight end, and Georgia has been, I don't want to say a runaway freight train since then, but they did tack on a touchdown to make it 14-0. And now you're sitting at 20-3. Not ideal if you're Michigan, but they do get the double possession here. 3:50 to go in the first half. If you score here, you don't leave much time left, then you score to open the second half, you can trim it to, 20-13 or 20-17, make some progress here and force Georgia to keep scoring, because that's what we've seen. And it's been really 2 plays have differentiated these 2 teams. Bennett hit the deep ball on the last drive on a 3rd and 3. That's a play. If you don't convert, you're punting, right? So instead of it being 20-3, it would be 17-3. Michigan would have gotten the ball about 2 minutes ago. And then you had the 4th and 4 play that I just mentioned. If Michigan converts there, whittle off a little bit of clock, whittle up some yardage, you get into field goal range at the very least, you probably get points on the board, and you just whittle it down whittle it down. You fail there. Georgia gets a short field. They capitalize immediately 14-0 with the running back passing touchdown. Always love to see it. I don't think it's going to be counted as a big time throw, but I am waiting. A running back / receiver / tight end, big time throw. I want to see it before the season ends, whether it's college football or the NFL. One of my favorite stupid things to track. Jarvis Landry had a turnover-worthy play because he got strip sacked by Odafe. So that's a good one. I think Keenan Allen had a turnover-worthy play as a quarterback, as a alternate passer of the football last week against Houston. And down goes McNamara. Just an absolute, that's a brutal, other than turnover, I don't think you could have had a worse sequence of events there for Michigan. 3 and out, not gaining any yards. McNamara gets thrown to the turf, and you're sitting 2:14 to go. Georgia's about to get the ball back. And for all I've wanted to say, oh, yeah, Georgia or Michigan can get that double score, we might be in a situation that Georgia tacks on even 3 more points, and it's 23-3 going into the half or 27-3 heading into the half. And look, as a Atlanta sports fan with the Braves, I know leads can be choked. Georgia has choked before. The Braves have choked before. The Hawks have choked before. The Falcons certainly have choked a lead in a big game before. But I've seen nothing out of Michigan today that says, hey, they're going to come back and win this game. I don't even know if they can score 20 points today, let alone however many Georgia could end up with here. So 4th and 8 for Michigan, and they will send out the punting unit. 4th and 8, 2:22 to go in the first half. I would think it's too risky to fake it here. Pretty big balls there on Harbaugh if he does fake it here, but down 17, 4th and 8 with rough situation for Michigan, and they will, oh my Lord, almost get the punt blocked. Halfway decent punt despite it getting blocked, but Georgia's going to have possession on their own 31 with 2:15, 1 timeout, and a chance to take a stranglehold of this game. Very narrowly blocked. Did it go off a fingertip of 81? I don't believe so. Oh, yeah, he pulled up at the very last second, so he didn't clock the punter, because that would have been roughing, free 15 yards, free first down there. So heads up play by Georgia. You're not going to get the momentum swinging block, but you don't give Michigan a free 15 yards and a first down like you could have. So Georgia has the ball, 2:15 to go. They have a 1st and 10 at their own 31. And man, that's what you get. That's the SEC football right there. You get the ball in space, and then you let your athletes go to work. And sometimes the athletes are on the offensive line, and you have some strong men out there. Push, push, push. Get those knees up. And you gain 12 yards on a 2-yard little bubble pass. So great play there by Georgia. Horrendous tackling by Michigan. Rough spot to be in if you're there.
Lead for 5 seconds, and Michigan comes back and goes 3 and out.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Sad. I think
Michigan is Michigan, Iowa per Thor Nystrom. Thor Nystrom. Oh my gosh. This is a slaughter.
Yeah, this has been a positive disaster. If you're Michigan, you could be down 27-3 at the half. This is Aiden Hutchinson, Ojabo. This is your time to make a play here.
For anyone who criticizes the selection committee or the AP voters and accuses them of having an SEC bias, you're having a bad day.
Yeah, this is the reason why there's a quote-unquote SEC bias, because the SEC teams deserve it. Oh, my Lord. Because it would be one thing if Cincinnati came out and beat Alabama, or Michigan came out and boat raced Georgia. Well, looked like Alabama took it to Cincinnati, and today Georgia is taking it to the Wolverines.
Oh, my goodness, there's another one. Jermaine Burton on a bomb from Stetson Bennett. Touchdown, Dogs. Oh my goodness.
And we have the Surrender Cobras around Hard Rock Stadium. There's a minute 38 to go in the first half, and we have some Surrender Cobras. Oh, man. What a throw. Well, he's about to get clocked. I don't know what the cover player was doing. Was it Gray? I have no idea what he was looking at. Was it like a triple move? Oh, he just stopped running. He just stopped running.
He stopped running.
What was that? What in the Raheem Moore was that? Oh my goodness. Gray wants that one back. That was as bad of a sequence as you can imagine. Okay, if there's a bright side, Michigan will have 98 seconds to try to do something here, but
round 27.
Yeah. I'm looking for bright sides here. Stetson Bennett, 255 total yards, 2 touchdowns already. Just absolutely filthy there. And of course, you have the running back touchdown. Love to see the running back passes because I can't do it in Madden. I can't do it in NCAA. I just suck for some reason. But congratulations, Georgia.
This is an ambush.
Yeah, like you were worried. Like we had some behind the scenes conversations. And you were like, okay, well, if Cincinnati, Alabama's close, I'll hop on and talk about the end of that game. We weren't worried about this game doing this. We were worried about Cincinnati, Alabama turning into a slaughter. This
is a much worse game than Cincinnati, Alabama. And I went around saying, guys, guess what? I don't think that this Cotton Bowl is going to be very good. But at least tonight's game is going to be great.
Oh, man.
And a lot of people there are a lot of college football experts that are looking like clowns tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like a clown. I'm by no means an expert. I thought that Michigan was good enough to keep this game close. And I am very, very wrong on that. I think the only thing I'm more wrong about is maybe Stetson Bennett heard what I was saying. This dude is playing the game of his life. You're speechless again. I don't like this.
I don't like it either.
You're a play ahead of me. I'm scared.
Oh
my goodness, it's a pick.
Oh, did he get pushed out of bounds? Yeah, both of them are out of bounds.
Oh my goodness.
That's an unreal interception, but I think they were out of bounds.
Kendrick. It's a great play.
Okay, they're going to review it. Okay.
This is so bad.
Oh my god.
So bad.
That's so funny because it's like we were talking about, okay, we don't really want to do, like, it'd be cool if we did the Cincinnati, Alabama one, but we were on a call with Frankie. It's like, maybe we can't get like a B team to do that. Maybe we can get like, I would be on that, or like we would save Zach for like the good game. And then we get this. And then Jack and I have had like, oh, well, do we want to choose Sean Mannion or do we want to choose Ben Roethlisberger versus Baker Mayfield? And it's like, what? You don't want to choose either of those games.
I don't know what you do. And
then now we have the game that's supposed to be awesome, and it's 27-3.
And it might be 34-3 by the end of the half.
Or did it go off Michigan's hands first, and that negates the stepping out of bounds? Oh, the Michigan guy stepped out of bounds. So would that be a penalty at Michigan, which would be irrelevant at that point because it would still be an interception for Georgia.
I'm flabbergasted right now.
This game has been, I can't even, disaster, catastrophe, pandemonium. This was a 7.5 point spread. As my grandmother's clock dings again. Time is running out on your season there, buddy. Oh my good. Yeah, that is. I think that's the definition of targeting. Yes, we have. We have more surrender. Then, oh my goodness. Yeah, 14's going to wake up and not know where he was last night.
And the funniest part is, I live an hour north of Miami. This is a home game for Michigan. This stadium's 70-30 Michigan.
And they're speechless. I told my dad's a huge Michigan fan. I told my dad, hey, you should look at tickets and sit in like the 300 level in Miami. Oh my goodness. I'm glad he didn't spend the money to go to this game.
So, that's just my takeaways right now. Either Georgia just got caught flat in that SEC championship game, Michigan's not great at all, or Bama's just that good. Or could it be all three?
I think it's a Bryce Young thing more than an Alabama's just that great. Is it Georgia ball, but a penalty on Georgia for a helmet-to-helmet hit? I think that's what I've gathered from all this yapping.
That's what it looks like.
Because a poor 14, you allow the interception, then you like get your eggs scrambled. So
dude's gonna wake up in a different time zone.
Yes. It's like, hey, what did I do last night? Oh, nothing.
Hey, wait a second. Where did I get that Peach Bowl ring or that Orange Bowl ring from?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey,
when do we play that college football game? Like I'm super amped up.
Meanwhile, Kirby's walking around looking like he's Ted Lasso, per usual.
Is this really going to turn into like a half of us talking about Georgia Alabama part 2?
It might.
This is the risk we run when we do live games.
College football, especially, because you oftentimes don't predict the really, really good games. Like nobody went into Texas A&M and Alabama thinking this is going to be a classic game.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best live game we've ever? It might have been that Thursday night game that we did.
Oh man, that was just unreal. The Chiefs Chargers. I mean, we've only done this is our third one, so
this is so bad. What a game to pick, huh?
Oh man. Cincinnati game would have been better. Even heck, Pitt and Michigan State last night would have been better than this monstrosity.
Would it have been? Because there was no Kenneth Walker, there was no Kenny Pickett.
It was a kind of fun game. And there were like
Tennessee
points scored. It was close. Tennessee, Purdue was on crack.
Yeah, oh
man.
If Georgia scores a touchdown here, this game's over.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan can score 20 points.
I mean, they are a team from Georgia after all, and
yes,
27-3. That's only 1 point shy of what the other football team in Georgia.
Hey, I will say the Braves won the World Series, so maybe it's different. I hope it's not different for Georgia, but I don't know. This has been. Could we have picked a worse game?
I think it would just be really funny if we started setting up Michigan or Georgia, Alabama, and then Michigan came back.
Yeah. Oh man.
I
haven't even edited the score. I've been preoccupied in the disaster that's happening at Hard Rock. Georgia 27, Michigan 3, and Georgia has the ball again. And you're just, at least my Cavs are winning. There's that. Well, that was the worst final play of a half I've ever seen.
Oh, you're 23 seconds ahead of me. Good Lord.
I don't know if my grandmother's TV remote can successfully pop.
I'm watching on one of these what do you call it? These Roku TVs. So I'm watching off a stream.
Gotcha. And Kirby is hot. Yes, I wish I had your problems, buddy. Your team's up 24 points. You're about to go to your second national championship in 5 years, and you are just absolutely lighting up your quarterback there.
You know what it is? I saw this tweet earlier today. There was someone said something along the lines of the most underrated part of an Alabama blowout is when Nick Saban just like rips into one of his players up 35. And it seems Kirby got that from him because Kirby is just ripping into Stetson. They go into the tunnel.
Oh my goodness!
Imagine after the Florida Georgia game 2 months ago, and of course, ESPN goes right to Harbaugh instead.
Oh yes, I hate the Florida Georgia game. I think I shut off at halftime. Like I had some, I don't want to say confidence, but I'm like, there's a guy in the app, Respect My 40. Shout out to him. I think his birthday was the other day, and he's a big Anthony Richardson guy. So I'm like, okay, I want to watch this Anthony Richardson dude ball out. And it was, I think 3-0 or 7-0 for most of the first half. And then there was like a 2-minute stretch that Georgia scored 3 touchdowns. And I wanted to throw the remote through the TV in my dorm. I hate when games get out of hand like that.
Michigan, you can see the body language. They just look so defeated. I'm in shock. I had no expectations of this happening. Vegas had no expectations of this happening. This is an unprecedentedly crazy. But hey.
Although, yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yet. It's not over yet.
Yeah. So I have a fact for you from ESPN Stats and Info. Georgia is the first team to score on its first 5 drives in CFP history.
I mean, this Georgia team was slept on for a month. And the more I'm thinking about it, the fact that we decided to sleep on Georgia because of one bad game when they were already due to go to the playoffs might have been a little bit ridiculous on almost everybody's part.
So with the benefit of hindsight, knowing that they got in despite the loss, if Alabama won like 78-0, shout out to Rutgers, would Georgia still have been in the playoff?
I think their resume says yes.
Okay. Because I tend to agree with you. And then you obviously wouldn't put them 4 because you don't want Alabama, Georgia 2 straight games. But this has just been.
At first, there were arguments that Georgia shouldn't even be in the playoff. There were arguments that they should have been yeeted out of the top 4 after the way they lost. And something tells me that they just maybe they just knew that they were a lock to get in. And did they not show up? Did they? We may never know.
Yeah,
maybe it could Alabama just showed up more motivated. That happened.
Was it 2012 that the Packers kind of like tanked against the Vikings week 17 and then turned around 7 days later and absolutely wiped them off the face of the earth in the playoffs? Okay. Do you think there's like a shade of that? Like, I'm not going to say they like intentionally lost because
no, they did not intentionally lose.
Clearly they would have been better off if Alabama's not in the playoff. But do you save some bullets in that game and say, okay, we're going to play you again in a month? Because I think maybe you argue that they obviously are not going to intentionally lose a game. But do you think they left some bullets in the tank in Atlanta and are going to save them for Indianapolis?
I have no idea because I also think there's another possibility that Bama comes in and wipes the floor with them all over again.
Now that I would pay to see, but that's but that would,
that would be in a sick, twisted way. That would be absolutely hilarious, but I'd really prefer that not to happen.
Yeah, well, see, I hate being a college football fan that hates Georgia.
There are a lot more Georgia haters than I really thought existed.
Oh, there are?
Yeah.
Because I can't find them. Because everyone I talk to seems to love Georgia and love Kirby Smart. And then I despise everything to do with black and red.
You got to also remember, I live in Florida.
Good point. And I lived approximately 19 out of 21 years of my life in Georgia. So,
but this is just there are people that really don't like Kirby, that don't like just anything the program stands for, which is interesting because I happen to like Kirby Smart.
9.2 yards per play for Georgia.
Are you kidding me?
And they tripled Michigan's offensive production yards wise.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I was. You'll see it on your screen in about 3 seconds.
How does Michigan let that happen?
Okay, you do get screwed by a couple big plays, but 9.2 just can't happen. Like, it's one thing, like, say the Ravens allow a bazillion big plays to everyone, but you can't be that awful. Like, you can't allow Stetson Bennett to average over 10 yards per pass attempt. Like, you cannot let that happen. And you cannot be beaten deep on a 57. What are you doing? What is he doing? He just stopped running. And then 7 just blows by him. And I have no words. I have no words for this.
Okay, here's a good question, good discussion. This is from @RobertO'Neill31 on Twitter. I understand this is going to sound like sour grapes because my team is getting blank housed in the playoff, but is college football actually fun for anyone besides like 5 fan bases?
Ooh. Okay, I think I have a different perspective here because
I am a Mizzou fan.
Yeah.
High school wins 6 games a year. And guess what? I still show up. I still enjoy them.
Yeah, like I go to Arizona. I liked going to the football games in 19. It's just when you watch these games on TV, and like one of my uncles is a very casual football fan, and he said, like, maybe if it was more of a diehard, then it would be cool to see like Saban dominate and have all these awesome teams. But from a casual standpoint, it's very boring to see Nick Saban every single season, and it's very boring to see Alabama every single season. And you have a repeat championship, all of the Clemson Alabama games in the college football playoff. Now you're going to probably get another Georgia Alabama, and yeah, I get what he's saying. I think that's just it'd be like an NFL fan saying, "Oh, well, the NFL is only fun if you're a Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, or Cowboys fan." Historically,
but there's also more. I guess. Well, there's parity. There are fan bases that are suffering now that maybe weren't suffering a decade ago. The New York Giants, but
or Florida State,
or in the NFL. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here.
Well, the Jets have always been a struggle.
Jets have always been a struggle,
Namath.
But the Broncos won a Super Bowl and they haven't made the playoffs since.
Oh, and it's so weird. The Broncos were like, if there was any team in the NFL other than maybe the Steelers that just didn't have bad seasons back to back, it was the Broncos. Now they've sucked for 6 years.
And you have these teams that maybe they might not be good now, but I think the Bengals are going to win a Super Bowl with this core in the not too distant future. Not this year, but I think Joe Burrow is going to win a Super Bowl with the Cincinnati Bengals sometime during his career.
I just have an issue with Zach Taylor. Like I think
I don't know if it's Taylor that's going to be the coach.
Yeah, I think they could be if they get a 2006 Marty Schottenheimer season that they're like really, really good and they just blow it. Like the Chargers did against the Patriots. If that happens, that might be the best thing to happen for the Bengals because Burrow is unbelievable. I think he's not going to win the MVP this year. Rodgers is, but I like when PFF says, "Oh yeah, Joe Burrow's their number 1 graded quarterback." I see that when I watch the Bengals. I see it when I pull up Game Pass, and Burrow has been ridiculous. And he leads the NFL in interceptions. Okay, well, one of those interceptions was a touchdown pass to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase drops it, and Michael Davis is playing like pretty bad coverage, but he gets a fluky pick because Jamar Chase turns into drop Chase. So.
Remember when we were told that Jamar Chase wasn't able to catch?
He still can't, to be fair. But there's a theory. This is one of my conspiracies that
it's his route running.
Like hands just don't matter when you're really good. Like it's one thing if you're like Nelson Aguilar on the Eagles, but no one cared when he was dropping passes when he was a good receiver, right?
Right.
Like Deebo Samuel is having a historically bad season of hands. He is still a Pro Bowler. He is still going to receive All-Pro consideration.
Who is the best receiver in the NFL in terms of hands?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
I mean, Hopkins, I think, is up there.
I mean, it used to be Odell Beckham, not anymore.
See, Odell's kind of like the Odell was like weird. Like he can make the spectacular catch rating would be super high, but like I'm using another
He's had
Madden
some
reference.
bad drops.
Yeah, the Washington game. I think the first game Norman was there. He had a beautiful diving catch into the end zone. One of the craziest catches I've ever seen. Then he had like an easy drop, like 2 drives later. Brandon Lloyd was the exact same way.
Oh, Brandon Lloyd. That's a name I haven't heard in a
I
while.
loved watching him play. He has more receiving titles than Terrell Owens and Randy Moss combined.
Who'd have thunk that, huh?
Yeah. Also, so does Reggie Wayne. Shout out to him, Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist.
I gotta keep thinking it. Who had great hands? That's who had incredibly underrated hands is Victor Cruz.
Ooh, salsa man, love it. Hunter Renfrow has nice hands. He's always open as well, so that helps.
I love watching Hunter Renfrow play.
Yeah, because it's like it's
refreshing.
Yeah, it's so like backyard football-y to me that it's almost like when I was younger, I would play Madden on my Wii, and you could like draw a route. So it's almost like Derek Carr is drawing on the football. All right, you do this stupid move, and it's not going to work, and then it always works. Like Hunter Renfrow just is like Jason Witten, but like a wide receiver, and he's always open.
I never thought he was going to be a good NFL player. I mean, his story is incredible. Dude walked on at Clemson.
Then catches perhaps the biggest touchdown in the history of the school.
One of the biggest touchdowns in history of the sport.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, and now he's in the NFL. He's 100 yards a game. I would imagine he's closing in on 1,000. Might be over 1,000 by the end of the year with no Waller the rest of the way. But I've been super impressed with what I've seen from Renfrow. Like, yes, he's not like the best athlete in the world. He's not going to run he runs very good routes, but he's not like, say, Devontae Adams. They run like different kinds of routes, if that makes sense.
You know what else Hunter Renfrow is? And this is something that really stands out to me. And I love how this game has gone so off the rails that we're talking about Hunter Renfrow during halftime in a game. This has been a pathetic football game. I'm just going to.
Hey, at least we're not talking about baseball, Hunter Renfrow. We're still talking about football.
About football, Hunter Renfrow. Like, he is not a hugely athletic guy, which makes him.
Let me pull up his combines.
The same way the way which is his body, he's going to be in the league for a long time.
Runs a 4.59.
Hunter Renfrow is going to be around for a while.
Did you know he was traded for both Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson?
King of pop and the king of hoop.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, and Ohio State legend Mike Weber.
Mike Weber. Oh, that's a name and a half.
Yeah, so he was originally – so the pick he was used to draft was the 149th. It was originally owned by the Bengals. They trade him to the Cowboys with the pick that became Donovan Wilson for a 4th-round pick that became Michael Jordan, a guy that I believe he was the guard that missed his assignment and Joe Burrow died.
I thought that was Bobby Hart.
I think Hart was – I think it was an interior guy because it wasn't like Chase Young blowing it. Well, Chase Young did blow him up earlier, but if I remember correctly, it was an interior player. And then he was traded by the Cowboys.
Now I have to watch that play again.
Yeah. Oh, I hate to see that. And he was traded by the Cowboys as his pick for another 5th that became Michael Jackson, not the Ravens legend, but a different Michael Jackson, and Mike Weber, the 7th round.
Okay. Who was the lineman that let this happen? Oh, God, I'm just going to skip through it.
And the Cavs are blowing it.
They don't even show the lineman.
Oh. Yeah, I believe it was Michael Jordan.
Oh, it was Michael Jordan. Yes.
Okay. Panthers legend, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he whiffed on a block on Jonathan Allen. There you go.
Oh, Jonathan Allen is so good. He's also good at throwing punches at his teammates.
I love how good that Washington defensive line is, and yet it
never seems to matter.
I mean, it's also not 100% their fault because
Right.
they lost Chase, but
But even Chase hadn't sacks on everything. I know this as a drafter of Odafe Owe, but when you're an alpha pass rusher, you need to get sacks in the NFL. And Chase Young did not have. If you want to go pressures, he wasn't matching the same pressure rate. If you want to go pass rushing grade, he wasn't matching the same pass rushing grade. If you want to go win rate, he wasn't doing that. And it felt like a sophomore slump for Young, and it just took all of the air out of Washington for the first few weeks. And then they started building up when actually, ironically, when Chase got hurt, they had some of these good defensive performances. Like they played really well against Tampa. That's an awesome offense. They said, nope, psych, Brady, you suck. And
it's
now
just so tough because I love the coach. I love.
See, I have mixed feelings about Rivera.
Quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know how they screwed up Curtis Samuel as much as they have.
The offensive line hasn't been great. That's the one thing.
They've had a rotating cast of centers. Like you go into the season with like Roulier as the center, Scherf, hasn't been as good as he was last year.
Scherf has been a big disappointment.
He was somehow a Pro Bowler this year. That was a
contract year too. That's even more surprising.
Yeah, that was a whiff to me. I would have picked Boston College legend Chris Lindstrom a million times.
Well, Scherf was so good until this year. So
yeah, he was Washington's first All-Pro as a non-special teamer since '95, I believe.
That's amazing, but that's also ridiculous and kind of terrible.
I just think about how many times Dan Snyder's like gone for the Albert Haynesworth, the Deion Sanders of the world, and just whiffed.
That's Dan Snyder for you.
Yes. How to fix the Washington football team.
If you're just tuning in, it is 27-3.
Oh,
Michigan is getting the floor wiped with them in half.
So we do have a couple chat questions. I'll throw them up. Sir Charles games. Alabama never plays anybody when you look at their schedule.
Well, who did Alabama play this year? Well, they lost to A&M. Okay, let's back up for a second.
Okay, I think this you run into a circular argument of if you're as good as you are every single season, then you're obviously going to look better than you play.
One team that wound up being legitimately good.
Being Georgia.
That was Ole Miss.
Oh, well, okay.
In the regular season.
Yes.
And of course, they killed Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yes.
But they killed Ole Miss, and that is...
I remember your show. You thought, was it you that thought it was going to be like in the 80s scoring wise?
I thought that game was going to be a shootout, and Alabama just destroyed them. I'm still surprised that game ended the way it did, but that was just a whole lot of frustratingly terrible play calls from Lane Kiffin. That game got out of hand. It was over before it even began.
Yeah, I was very, very disappointed. That was one that, like, it's sometimes a drag to like walk down to the conference room and watch a game. That was one that I wanted to watch, and I like look at my phone. Hey, the Alabama. Oh, it's 21-0 or whatever. It got out of hand real quick. It's like, really? Do I want to go watch this game? It's like, no, unless it's Boise State. And then they go down 20-0 or something against San Diego State, and I had to turn the game off.
Yeah, that hurt to watch. All right, next question in the chat.
The NCAA only cares about money. That's why they make brackets like that they want their big money rematch.
Like, I'm going to be real with you. I think that the NCAA wanted a Michigan-Alabama championship.
Ooh, interesting.
Programs ever.
Okay, fair.
I don't think the NCAA necessarily wanted another
All SEC. It'd be 3 in 11 years.
I don't think they wanted this. And then again, it's not about what you want now, is it?
No. And what we're looking at is Georgia, Alabama part 2. So I don't necessarily disagree with where he's coming from, because sometimes the top 2 teams. This year, it looks like we know the top 2 teams, but we had Michigan. Like, if we had a BCS format, does Michigan still jump Georgia, in your opinion?
Not sure.
Because I think it was pretty easy to say, okay, Michigan's going to be 2, and then after beating Ohio State and beating, was it Iowa in the Big Ten title game, just
they killed
demolished them. Like, okay, it's going to be SEC winner 1, Michigan 2, and then you just don't want to have, you're going to have the SEC loser at 3, just so you don't have the rematch immediately, and then Cincinnati at 4. And then you're like, huh, well, in a vacuum, Georgia probably has a better resume than Michigan, other than like the whole conference championship ordeal. I don't know. That one, it didn't end up mattering because it's a 4-team playoff, so it doesn't matter if Michigan's 2 or Georgia's 2 because they're going to play each other. But
Right.
I think we know who the top 2 teams in the country are.
What you got next? Is that it?
Yeah, that is it for right now, unless you have something else from Twitter, because I can't see Twitter comments.
Well, if that's the case, my family's saying, "Hey, Zach, we got dinner," so I'm gonna run for another bit.
All right,
I will be back.
I will.
Once again, 27-3 at half. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get lucky and Michigan will storm back.
Maybe I might have to start doing some trivia so I can get Tom Grossi to rate us again.
Let's do trivia when I get back.
Oh, I love it. I'll pull up like Sporkle or something and we can see what we can do on that. So, start of the third quarter here at the Orange Bowl. Michigan will get the ball to start the second half. They're down 24. It has not looked good. Michigan is averaging just 2.2 yards per rush, 6 yards per pass. It's been gross. Like, this has been everything you want in a football game. Throw it out the window. It went a long time ago, but I don't even know if I can still do the Atlanta sports, Georgia sports bit, because this has been a massacre. Georgia is tripling Michigan in yardage. They are almost quadrupling them through the air. They are almost tripling them on the ground. They are almost tripling them in yards per rush. They're almost doubling them in yards per pass. Yards per pass attempt. And this just seems like Michigan just pulled up with their pants down. Like, Georgia hasn't even been that spectacular. It's just been a lot of errors for Michigan. Like, even I'll go back to the 1st and 15 they had. That's not a play that, yes, they converted on that play. Yes, McNamara made an incredible 18-yard run and converted on that play, but that is not a play you are going to have time after time after time against a Georgia team like this. And like Zach said earlier, this is a very NFL-style Georgia defense versus a very college football-style Michigan offense, if that makes sense. So you have Michigan operating on such a thin boundary here, and then you throw in like the NFL caliber players that Georgia has. Nakobe Dean has been magnificent. Jordan Davis has been magnificent. So like Georgia just set the record, or set a recent, like a modern record for most games that allowing a first half touchdown with 11 now. They've allowed 2 teams to score a first half touchdown, or I guess 3 teams the entire season. So I hope we get something more entertaining. I don't really want to resort to doing trivia, although I do love me some college trivia, whether it's football or basketball. But then just a rough start, 2nd and 10. You're not going to beat Georgia with 2nd and 10s because you don't have Bryce Young. You don't have that's a nice catch, but you don't have that it factor quarterback. Like Hassan Haskins has been phenomenal all season long, but a running back can only do so much when you're not freaking Barry Sanders, so you just look at it and you're like, oh, this has been, if you're Jim Harbaugh, there is nothing worse than what's happened right now. Because it's one thing if you get down big and it's like a tipped pass or you get some screwy thing here or there. Georgia has beaten Michigan in every sense of the word, and Michigan has beat themselves when Georgia wasn't doing the beating. And there we have, Michigan did finally get a first down and sack on second down, or sack on first down, the next first down. Just I'm at a loss for words. Like, I came into this not really a joke, but expecting like, or just my luck, Georgia's going to wallop Michigan, and I don't even know if I could have seen like worse than 27-3. Could get worse than 27-3, which would be pretty bad for a stream. But Georgia 27, Michigan 3, like it is on the bottom of the screen. Got the direction right. That's cool. 2nd and 16 for Michigan, Cade McNamara, and that is not doing it there. That is nope. Corum. You're not converting 3rd and 16s against Michigan or against Georgia. Although I do love Marty Smith's tie. I think that's the pink tie. That is the best part of this game is Marty Smith's hair and his tie combo. You have the surrender cobras in the crowd already. Because like Zach said, 70-30 Michigan fans might be a free play here. What a throw. Cade McNamara. What a throw on a free play. Just a strike. Just a fantastic throw there. That's exact. 3rd and 16, free play or no free play. That was a perfect throw there for McNamara. And it wasn't offside on Jordan Davis. That is the kind of throw Michigan needs. They need a lot of those. They need a lot of those big-time throws. Or it wasn't Davis. It was 88, not 99. So he jumps. McNamara under a little bit of duress. Just a strike. Worst case, it's 3rd and 11. All right. Now there you go, Michigan. Hassan Haskins finally gets the second level. Just keep it rolling. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back first downs for the Wolverines. Great throw by McNamara. Then the very next play, a little off tackle. Great run. Breaks a tackle. Probably would have broken another one if they weren't on the right hash already. So Michigan is moving the ball. 3rd first down of the drive. So if you can keep stringing it together and force a mistake, force a turnover, force a quick 3 and out, you have a shot. Haskins pounds up the middle, gains about 2 or 3. Yeah, if you can move the ball against Georgia and then get the ball out of their hands, whether that's a 3 and out or a turnover, force a fumble, tip pass, interception. Michigan is moving the ball. Credit to them. Credit to whatever Harbaugh said at halftime. They had a 3rd and 16. McNamara stood in under duress, delivered a strike. And then Haskins first down. You're sitting 2nd and 7, just inside the 30. You are in field goal range with Moody. And that, nope. You can't, you have to catch passes. Just a little swing pass to the back and just disaster strikes because that's maybe a first down, at least cuts your 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and short, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 at the very worst. And now you are in a situation of, hey, maybe Michigan needs to go for it here. If you say run the ball, get 3 or 4 yards with Haskins, 4th and 3, down 24 with 11:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Is it 4-down territory for the Wolverines? It might be. And you have to use a timeout here. This drive is unraveled. My hands are in front of my, I can't face. This drive is totally unraveled. You move the ball, 3 first downs. You get a 2nd and 7, drop on 2nd and 7, timeout before a 3rd and 7 play from a stopped clock. That is blood boiling. If you're a Michigan fan out there and you're still watching this game, that will boil your blood. That on 2nd and 7, you have a shot to get a first down. You have a shot to make an easier 3rd down for McNamara, and you drop a swing pass that could have gone for 5 or 6, even more yards. That could have been a first down play, and you're sitting there like, what the heck is going on in Miami now? And then 3rd and 7, instead of running a play, you have to spend a timeout. And sure, it's a 24-point game. Sure, it's best case scenario one day that you have to use your timeouts, but you have to use one on offense. And it's much easier to stop the ball or stop the clock on offense than defense. This is why teams hold on to their timeouts in many cases so they can stop the other team if necessary. But just unraveling there on that last little sequence there. You can deal with a lot if you're Jim Harbaugh, but you can't have miscues like that. You can't have a drop on 2nd and 7, which would have been a first down. You cannot. So when Zach gets back, we might be descending into trivia town. Although Michigan could cut the lead to 27-6, depending on what they do here on 3rd and 7. So Jake Moody, unbelievable season. I believe 23 out of 25 now, 92%. But it's going to all be for naught if you have to kick another field goal on 4th and 7. It is a 3-score game. There's an argument to say, hey, let's go for it. But are points more important to you right now than odds? Because Georgia has been able to move the football in this Michigan defense. Aiden Hutchinson, if you're looking at Aiden Hutchinson and saying he's the number 1 overall pick, you're not looking at this game. You're watching his Ohio State game. David and Jabo have not quite been what you expect them to be. I believe Hutchinson does have 1 TFL, but Stetson Bennett has not had to deal with much at just dropping dimes 40, 50 yards downfield. Just a unfortunate series of events here. 3rd and 7 for Michigan. We're back from the commercial break. This is a must-have it, and he got it. Underneath to the little dump off. Is it Hall or Hill? And it wasn't McNamara. It was the other quarterback. I'm blanking on his name. McCarthy. Just dropping it in. There you go. If it takes bringing in your backup quarterback to gain a first down, it works. And his name is All, not Hall. My mistake. So Michigan is in the red zone. If Hassan Haskins can have a takeover drive here and you get the ball moving because it's a difficult defense to run on, you can have that two-tone football that you want, that ability to throw the football, ability to run the football in any down. That is going to go a long way for Michigan getting back into this game. 2nd and 6, much more manageable than a 3rd and 7 every single drive. So Michigan needs another positive play here, make a 3rd down easier or convert. So yeah, rough day at the office so far for the Michigan rushing attack, and you can't have a false start there. It's one thing to have a 2nd and 6, maybe a 3rd and 6. You can't have 2nd 11s against Georgia. False start on Michigan. Stuber, the right tackle there. Just unfortunate. You can't force yourself into these awful situations, and that seems what we're doing there. 27-3, 2nd and 11 here for Michigan, just inside the red zone. Now is the time. You need to pick up yardage here so you have a 3rd and manageable. You were able to convert a 3rd and 6 just a few plays ago. McNamara is loading and to a wide open Georgia player, and we have a disaster on our hands. Nope. What was that? Jump ball to a 1-on-0. Maybe a miscommunication on the route. Maybe he thought it was going to be a fly route instead of like a double move. But oh my goodness. That's an incredible interception. Well, he ran a better route than the receiver, and you just can't connect there. And Zach, I wouldn't be opposed of you just ghosting me right now and just making me talk for the next hour. Because, oh man. McNamara, no. Oh, just ugly, just miscommunication. That has to be miscommunication between quarterback and receiver there, because I don't think you're throwing that ball there if you don't think he's running a fly. Or maybe you think he's just faster than he is, but you had a month to prepare for this game. How do you let this happen? I get it. Like when the NFL, you have the quick turnaround, you have a week, even Super Bowls are 2 weeks. or during the regular season, I get it if you get just totally stomped because you have 7 days to prepare, 6 days to prepare, whatever it may be. But you have a month to prepare. How do you show up to Miami with your pants down like this? Oh, and that Kendrick with his second interception of the game. Georgia's going to get the ball at the 20 after the touchback. They're up 24. There's 25 minutes to go in this game. McNamara, his second interception. Of course, the first one wasn't really his fault. That last one, it's either his fault or a total miscommunication with the receiver. But oh man, this is getting ugly. It has been ugly for quite a long time. They're at Hard Rock, and we're just over the 2-hour mark, and this is borderline unwatchable. Borderline unwatchable. So if you're just tuning in, usually Zach's here. He's off taking a little break, getting some dinner, and I'm I'm watching this disaster unfold. They are showing highlights from Oklahoma, Georgia a few years ago. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Baker Mayfield. Just that, oh man, that was I think that's the best college football game I've watched live, like watched on TV. And this game is one of the worst. Just, oh my goodness. Well, there's Stetson Bennett. Ouch. Imagine being dunked on by a guy that's 5'11". I'm 5'10", so I can make jokes about it. Just, I think they said before the game in the pregame show that this proved that Jim Harbaugh can coach championship level football. I don't know if they decided not to tune into this game because this is championship level football. Like, I get beating Ohio State is nice. I get winning the Big Ten is nice. I get smacking Iowa is nice. But when it matters, when the chips are all on the table, Jim Harbaugh left his chips in Ann Arbor because this has been, you at a certain point you have to ask, were you even prepared to play this football game? It does not look like Michigan came prepared offensively or defensively. Special teams has been fine because they've been on the field for 5 snaps, but like your offense can't do anything. They had a nice opening drive, fail on a 4th and 4. I like the call. I like it being aggressive against an awesome defense, and it doesn't work. Okay. They've done nothing since then. And then defensively, you can't stop Stetson Bennett. And this is like, you have this dynamic rushing attack, right, of Georgia, and Zamir White is under 4 yards a carry, and you've allowed like 2 huge runs. Like, Michigan is holding the lid on the Georgia rushing offense, and it's just been a disaster. The passing offense, Stetson Bennett, probably has a passer rating, an NFL passer rating well over 120. 16 of 22, 234, 2 touchdowns, over 10 yards per attempt. And then, of course, he had the nice 20-yard scramble. Ooh. 3rd and 8 goes to 4th and 8. Michigan's defense said hello. They heard me talking smack. They came out, made a stop, got pressure. I believe Njabo was there with the pressure. First time I've said his name tonight. But there you go. Force a 3 and out. Georgia gains 2 yards, so Michigan's going to get reasonable field position. So you drove down the field just a second ago. Why can't you do it again? And this time, don't throw a red zone interception. So Georgia's first punt, they had scored on their first 5 drives, and their 6th drive was the end of the half. And Michigan nearly blocks the punt. That's an awesome punt, flipping the field. Oh, what a return. Can he get to the edge? Can he get to the edge? That is a nice return, about 15, 17 yards there. That's 15 yards you don't have to get against Jordan Davis. So, could be worse. Could be worse. So, All right, go to a commercial break. 27-3, 8:31 to go in the third quarter. Michigan is getting pantsed today. Cade McNamara you need to answer here. This is a big drive. I mean, this is essentially the game with 23-31 to go. If you don't score here at Michigan, what are the odds that you stop Georgia quickly twice in a row? I don't think it happens.
All right, I'm back and full, but I'm back.
All right.
What you got?
What have I got? Well, miscommunication between receiver and quarterback. McNamara hit a Georgia defensive back in stride.
Yeah, I saw the Kendrick pick from the other room. It was bad.
Yeah, just But it's almost as if Michigan didn't prepare for this game. Like I can understand getting blown out like in the course of a season, even like in a conference championship game. I get it, but when you have a month to prepare for one team and you just get blitzkrieged like this, I don't know, man.
Like I don't know if I could ever take Michigan seriously after this. Like this is a kind of game that like it really does destroy a lot of of impressions. Like Michigan could come out fantastic next year,
but it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter because people are just going to look back on what happened today.
Do I dare say the N word here, like the Notre Dame word?
You could.
Yeah, like you told people say, "Oh, Notre Dame doesn't deserve to be in the playoff. They don't deserve to be in the playoff. They always lose." Well, what does Michigan do? They're down 24, getting killed, right?
I don't think we need an 18 playoff after this. I really don't think we need an 18 playoff. I think this proves that typically you can find the two best teams in America through the. Like, yes, I understand that the system is flawed, and I am not going to deny that.
But college football is such a weird thing to find a champion because, like in other sports, look at the NFL. You're never going to have a ranking system like power rankings. I write my own power rankings every week. They're stupid. I write in the header. It's a futile exercise in ranking these teams because it does not matter. And then college football, there's so many teams that you have to have an AP poll. You have to have a college football playoff poll. Right, and it's like, okay, how are you going to compare a 13-0 Cincinnati and a 12-1 Alabama? Well, you rank them based on a bunch of different factors. But in like an NFL style, Cincinnati is the best team best team. Okay, whoop-de-doo. They're obviously not the best team, but it's just college football is so different from every other.
So arbitrary. That's what it is.
Yeah. Even college basketball that's a little less arbitrary because you have so many automatic bids in the March Madness. So you have teams that you win and get in. Like there's like a meritocracy thing that if you win your games, you will get in. College football doesn't work like that. You could go UCF 13-0, right? Don't get in the playoff. Western Michigan 12-0, 13-0, don't get in the playoff.
Remember when Western Michigan made a New Year's Six bowl? That feels
like they got killed. Was it? I don't think they got killed, but they lost.
They didn't get killed.
Was it AJ? Not AJ Terrell. Zach Terrell, right?
Zach Terrell, yes.
To Corey Davis. That
was a good team.
Yeah, with Row the Boat.
It was PJ Fleck right before he left for Minnesota.
For Golden Pastures.
It's just really frustrating, I think, to have all these discussions back. Yeah, absolutely. We should have an 18 playoff. I don't think Utah or Oklahoma State or Notre Dame would put up any better of a fight.
Like so let's say you expanded it to 8, right? So Alabama would play. Did it end up being
maybe? And there is the one maybe is I think Ohio State might have put up a better fight.
Yeah, I think at a certain point you have so much talent in the facility that, yeah, I would tend to agree with you. So, okay. So if we had an 18 playoff, we would get Alabama Ole Miss part 2. How big is the spread in that game? 20?
Oh, fumble. Oh my gosh.
I think we're gonna have to do some trivia. This has been bad.
This is terrible.
Okay, so if we had a 16 playoff, the first round games would have been Georgia, Ohio State. I think that would have been a halfway decent game.
No, that would have been. I think Ohio State puts up a fight. I think watching this makes me think that Ohio State's loss to Michigan might have been a fluke.
Ooh,
in the snow, in that atmosphere.
Okay.
I think Ohio State is a better team than
was that
Michigan.
in Columbus?
No, it was in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
Something tells me that game goes Ohio State's way maybe 8 times out of 10.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think CJ Stroud and the quarterback depth at Ohio State plays a role in that. Like we've touched on it with Alabama.
Well, they don't have Quinn Ewers anymore. You got to remember that.
That's a good point. So I think when you have an X factor quarterback, it kind of makes things a little bit easier for you, which is why I thought potentially that the Cincinnati Alabama game could be fun if Desmond Ridder didn't turn into a pumpkin.
I was never a Des Ridder guy. I wish I was.
It turns out he is a pumpkin. So
another team. Oh my gosh, what a catch. How in the world was that held on to?
Oh. And then we've already seen Cincinnati Notre Dame. That would have been the 4-5 matchup. That was a fun game in South Bend.
That was a fun game. I think Cincinnati possibly beats them again.
Yeah. So then we would get stuck with Cincinnati, Alabama. We know how that happens. And then a Michigan Ohio State rematch would be fun.
I think Ohio State beats them again.
Yeah, and then we would get Alabama, Ohio State. So if it was an 8-team playoff, we would have had Baylor, Michigan, and Alabama, Ole Miss, part 2.
I like Baylor, but actually that would be a very fun game.
And then I think beyond 8, like I joke on the app that I want a 128-team playoff because I'm sadistic, but
I don't think we want that.
No, it'd be great for money.
I don't think a 128-team playoff would be good for the sport.
You get 127 bowl games. This
is good for the sport.
Good point.
This is terrible for the sport.
Yeah, 127 bowl games though.
This is really, really bad for the sport to have this game have gone this way.
Because at least with Cincinnati, I think you can kind of understand that there's a chasm between these two programs, right? Like even in the lead up, Cincinnati, I think Ridder was saying, well, we have a bunch of 2- and 3-star guys on our offensive line. We're going up against a bunch of 4 and 5s. It's like, okay.
I understand that.
Yeah. But then it's like Michigan and Georgia are theoretically equals. This is almost like Georgia playing Eastern Michigan.
This is just horrific almost.
3 turnovers.
How in the world?
3 points.
If you're Jim Harbaugh, how do you let this happen?
You had a month to prepare for this stupid game.
Man. Like, I saw the way that the Alabama game was going to go. I was in no way prepared for this.
Yeah. Like, how many times have you called Aiden Hutchinson's name today? 1?
1 or 2. Tops.
How many times have you called Njabo's name today?
0. I mean, the guys on Georgia whose names I expected to call.
You've been calling.
I've called Nakobe Dean's name how many times?
Yeah, like he's been insane.
That Hutchinson just missed on knocking a pass down. Instead, Kenny McIntosh just went 20 yards for a first down. Like, we're watching the man against the boys here right now. And
yeah, we're watching. This is the classic. I think the first national championship game I watched was Florida Ohio State, and the lead up to that game was there's a speed difference between these two teams. Like there is an athletic difference between Florida and Ohio State. That showed on the field that day, 41-14. It is showing in this game that these are not the same. These are
these are not anywhere near the same.
Like high school has like the number of A's to delineate like how good your program is. Georgia and Michigan are not the same number of A's. Like Georgia is a cream of the crop program, and Michigan just looked like they learned what football was yesterday. And
Like
this is
this
so
looks like
demoralizing
T1
for a
versus
program.
T2. These look like two completely different programs.
And
I
in
mean,
theory,
this season is not a failure for Michigan by any stretch of the imagination.
no, absolutely not. But
Michigan
you just have
came in
this
unranked. Got to remember that.
nasty taste.
But this, I don't know. Were they overrated? Is this just Michigan coming out flat? We don't know. And that's what makes this so frustrating to watch is we really don't know.
Yeah, because like, you hate to see a blowout at such a big game because it's like we have 2 important college football games the rest of the season. We have to watch the next 19 minutes of this one, and then we get Georgia, Alabama in a couple weeks for 6.
Hey, we got 3 New Year's Six bowls tomorrow.
Okay, that's true. But
they're
those
they
do
don't-
lose
they don't
some of their
matter.
luster, I think.
They don't matter that much.
Yeah. I calling them pointless is a stretch.
They're not pointless. I will not say they're pointless because they're sure as hell not pointless for. It might be pointless for Ohio State because Ohio State did not expect to be there. For a school like Utah, being in the Rose Bowl, they did not expect to be at the Rose Bowl this year. Baylor did not expect to be in the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss did not expect to be in the Sugar Bowl. Oklahoma
That's going to be a fun one.
Oklahoma
Is Corral
State
playing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. Must watch TV. We might have to do this.
Oklahoma State did not expect to be in the Fiesta Bowl. I had Notre Dame going 8-4 this year, and they're under a new coach tomorrow.
Yes. Marcus Freeman, right?
Yes. Which is such a good job they did to keep him around. I still can't believe Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly is going to flop at LSU, and I can't wait for that to happen.
Oh, yeah. That the text message he sent to his players, and then the meeting the day after, 6 or 7 in the morning that he's there for 2 minutes. 7 in the morning,
it lasts 15 minutes, then poof, he was gone.
Oh man, that is. Was it you or was it someone else that it's if you are an LSU recruit and Brian Kelly comes into your house and he says, I'm going to see you through this, there's a tinge of doubt in the back of your mind. Or is LSU too big of a program for him to leave?
LSU is too big of a program for him to leave.
Okay. I did leave Notre Dame.
All right, if Michigan if Georgia scores a touchdown this drive, I think we go to trivia and then we call it a night.
We have a 1st and 29.
Oh my gosh.
We are in such dire straits in this game that I'm excited about a 1st and 29. I have a question for you. Name the NFL team that has had the most 1st and 20s this season.
Is it a good team or a bad team?
That's a good question. I don't know how to answer that.
Are they mediocre?
It is a dumpster fire right now, but it wasn't a month ago.
Ravens.
Yes.
Oh God.
They've had 13 1st and 20s. Patriots and Bills have 12.
So it's 3 above average teams that have been at the top of that list, which is fascinating.
Yeah. It makes total sense for us because Alejandro Villanueva can't block anything. So no wonder he holds.
Yeah, he's a little bit on the wash side.
Yeah. Do you think Frankie made this point the other day? Do you think holding calls should only be 5 yards as opposed to 10?
No, you got to teach the right technique.
Okay.
I get where you're coming from, but that just incentivizes holding.
That's fair. The Cavs, of course, below elite. Great. Yeah. Best New Year's Eve ever. Georgia absolutely mollywops Michigan, and then my Cavs blow a lead to the Hawks.
Hey, man, we got chocolate lava cakes in the oven. I'll mail you one.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm telling you, man, we have had the best New Year's dinner ever.
Man, I made actually I'll grab one.
Yeah, I've been going in and out because I spent the whole morning running back and forth between Publix and Trader Joe's, and French onion soup came out of the kitchen. We just had steak and green beans, and oh gosh. We made crab dip for the first game. I know this isn't Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, but
Yeah.
Stetson, a shot to McConkey. Are they going to throw a flag there? Do not throw a flag. Do not throw a flag. Okay, they did not throw a flag.
So this is a like a pizza bite. So it's puff pastry. I threw marinara sauce on it, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. And then the other side of the puff pastry.
That looks delicious.
Threw it in the oven for 17 minutes. It's really good. It is. It's really good.
It's like a what's the dude's name from iCarly who puts everything on a stick?
Oh, the guy at the donut shop.
Yes.
Great show. I haven't watched the reboot, but great show.
Todd Lesney from 46, and this would just about seal it. And this one is wide to the left.
All right. Well,
so you don't have to change the score yet.
Shocker.
I think it's trivia time because
I'm gonna look up some good trivia. See, the funny thing with me is that like I am inordinately good at like college football and college basketball trivia, even though those are like lower on my pedestal of sports. Like I watch every NFL game. I watch a ton of baseball. It's like college football. Okay, some days it's like some Saturdays. Okay, I'll watch your show. And I'll watch the 3:30 game on CBS. And other than that, it's like, okay, cool, whatever.
Hold on. Frankie just reiterated it in the group chat. Georgia's going to beat Michigan by 10 plus, and almost everybody disagreed with him.
Yeah, good point.
That's fantastic.
Can confirm. Yeah, make sure download the uSTADIUM app if you haven't. If you haven't downloaded already, we have beautiful takes feature. If you need points, if you're just downloading the app and you have 0 points, tag me, tag Zach, tag Frankie, and say, "Hey, I came from the Football Night with uSTADIUM show. I want to get in on some of these takes, and we will more than happy to send you some points." Yeah, this has been absolute positive disaster. I actually did bet. I said. I disagreed with Michigan plus 7.5. I was the only person to disagree with that. Can confirm. I have the Smurf emoji because we got swept by the Bungles. But then the next one I said, I'm gonna hedge my bet. And I did bet Frankie said Georgia's gonna win by 10 plus. And I said not gonna happen. So I hedge. So I get a ton of points from Adam and all of his. I just
sent Frankie
hooligans.
The one thing that I had to send him. I said, we ain't home free yet.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a screenshot of the Michigan one because that's my AVI over there. Or AVI, whatever. Same thing. Yeah, so I was just hedging. So here we go. My hedge. Between the hedges. Cool. All right. So let me pull up some Sporkle and let's see what the #1 college football quiz on New Year's Eve is. Let's see if Zach can back up his talk. Okay. I think my most useless piece of trivia knowledge is I can name all 358 Division I college basketball teams.
We're not doing hoops tonight. No way.
Yeah, no. I don't feel like typing out 358 names. All right. Let's start with something easy. Get like a little soft toss in for you. I want you to name the 6 bowls that are a part of the New Year's 6 rotation.
All right. I'm going to start the timer because I know I can do this in 15 seconds or less.
Yes. All right.
Hold on. Get my stopwatch ready. And
as McNamara fumbles.
Peach Roll, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl.
There you go.
There.
He did it.
8 seconds.
Take it.
Oh my God, Cade, what are you doing?
But then I'm doing it on my screen. And here we go. We have the 10 oldest bowl games. So we're sticking with the theme of bowls. This one's been a bust, but we have the 10 oldest bowl games as soon as my laptop loads the next page. All right. Here we go. Can you name the 10 oldest Division I college football bowl games that are still played today?
Loaded. I know one of them's the Sun Bowl. I don't know why I know that.
The Sun
Liberty
Bowl was
Bowl
first played in 1935.
Liberty Bowl is definitely one of the older ones.
1959.
Rose Bowl has to be one of the older ones.
1902.
Sugar?
That's the oldest.
Yep, 1935. Okay. Orange?
I think
1935. So. Hey, attaboy, Cade. Shoot. I don't know. Cotton? Yes, 1937. Oh, boy.
The Bahamas Bowl.
No, it's not the Bahamas Bowl. I know. It's not the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Fiesta. Why not?
That's my favorite.
1971 Fiesta Bowl. Cool. Not the Pinstripe Bowl, not the Armed Forces Bowl.
What's the dumbest bowl name, in your opinion?
Gasparilla.
Okay, that's a valid one. Love for the Gator Bowl.
Gator Bowl is one of them?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not kidding. Let's see. Peach. Did you say peach?
Not yet. Okay, 1947. That's the last one. The Gator Bowl has been played since 1946. Oh my goodness! JJ McCarthy just got popped.
Oh. Most exciting thing that's happened tonight. Oh, man. 1947.
Right. 1947.
Is that right?
Shoot.
Oh, that is cruel and unusual punishment.
What state is it in?
It should be Florida.
Is it the Citrus Bowl?
Maybe.
No way. Are you kidding? It's a Citrus Bowl.
And confirm. Wow. All right. Also, go Kentucky tomorrow. I want points from Noah.
Give me something difficult. And preferably something based
How about
on
I give you one that I made? I've made 2 Sporkle quizzes. One's NFL, one's college football. Let me find it. I'm going to give you a quiz that I made, and I'm going to see how well you can do on it. Let me find it. All right. It is called Top 10 Heisman Finishers. And it is, let me copy the link and send it to you in the private chat.
What do you mean by?
Can you name the top 10 Heisman finishers since 2000? So this is as of 2019. Yep. So Heisman 1 through 10 every year since 2000. Well, 2000 to 2019. I need to update it.
Oh. There's 221 people?
201.
Oh my gosh. That is.
This is, I think, well, I've only made 2 quizzes.
Wait,
but this,
when did you send it over? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So I made it, there's one day during COVID, like I was home, it was May, April.
I think I could speed through this. Okay. 2019. Right. Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Oklahoma quarterback. Shoot, Jalen Hurts.
Let me see if I can, because I haven't done it in a while.
Quarterback, Ohio State, Dwayne Haskins. Shoot, who was Ohio State's quarterback after? Fields. Who am I kidding?
This shake it happens a lot.
Fields, Young, Osa, no? Running back, Wisconsin, Taylor. He's actually 3 separate. Running back, Ohio State. Shit. Oh, shoot.
I have his jersey. I don't know if that helps you at all, but
Oh, J.K. Dobbins. Quarterback,
sir.
Lawrence. Running back, Oklahoma State. Chuba Hubbard. No, is it Chuba Hubbard? No. Who's Oklahoma State running back?
I'm taking the quiz simultaneously, so I don't want to tell you.
No, I'm like talking to myself here.
Oh, okay.
This is rhetorical.
Ooh, I'm stuck. Oh, that's right. Okay.
You know what? I'm just going to do this backwards because my computer just did whatever. Okay, let's try this again. 2019, Burrow. Fuck. Oh. Oklahoma. Who was Oklahoma's? Oh my gosh, Rattler. It wasn't Rattler. That's 2020. 19 Oklahoma. It wasn't Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he was a 2018 guy.
Who was Oklahoma's? It was Jalen Hurts. Okay. Fields, Young, Taylor.
What's that fool's name?
Dobbins.
So I have 19, 18. I'm missing 1 and 17.
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay. Lawrence.
I can't believe this. What's his name? Oh, it's that's his name. There we go. All right, we are into 2016, the year of our Lord. Oh, that's his name.
Who was Oklahoma State's running back in 2019? Was it Chuba? Yeah, it was Chuba Hubbard.
Texas had a Heisman guy in 2016. Huh. Some things never change.
Quarterback, Ohio State. Haskins, Greer, Washington State, Minshew.
2016. There we go.
UCF.
Ravens.
Who's UCF's quarterback? Oh my God, Milton? Yes. Defensive tackle, Alabama. That was Quentin Williams, wasn't it?
He was unreal.
Running back, Memphis. Antonio. Wasn't Antonio Gibson.
I think it might be better if one of us was sharing our screen so we could. So for the next one of us will share our screens so our viewers have something to look at.
Okay. 2017 Oklahoma quarterback, Mayfield. Stanford running back, Bryce Love. Louisville quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Saquon Barkley. Rashad Penny. Oklahoma State quarterback.
What's that fool's name?
Mason Rudolph.
Who do you think starts for the Steelers next year?
Kerryon Johnson. Georgia linebacker would be Roquan Smith. Okay. Clemson quarterback, Watson. Oklahoma wide receiver, 2016.
Mr. Combine, Mr. Draft interview. If that's a hint at all.
Oh, D.D. Westbrook.
Yes.
Right? Defensive back, Michigan, Peppers. Quarterback, Washington. That would be, oh my gosh, what is his name? Ugh, this is going to kill me. I know exactly. Jake Browning.
Shout out to Chris Peterson.
Defensive line, Alabama.
Oh.
Donovan Allen. Running back, Texas. Texas running back.
Hey. Quarterback at Baylor.
That would be Deontay Foreman, right? Yes. Running back Stanford. Oh my gosh. It's not Bryce Love. That would be Christian McCaffrey. Running back Florida State. Alvin Cook. Running back San Diego State.
Ooh.
That's freaking Donnell Pumphrey. Oh my God.
Who the
Okay. 2015 running back Alabama. Henry.
2012 Oregon running back.
Oh, I know who that is. D'Anthony Thomas.
Oh, that's his name. Okay. I said, oh, it's not D'Anthony. Huh. And it's not LaMichael James.
Could be Royce Freeman.
I think that's a little early for Royce. It's not Thomas.
Could be Kenyon Barner.
Yeah, that's who it is. Okay.
Ohio State.
Oh.
2014 receiver Alabama, Amari Cooper. Quarterback Ohio State, that would be Barrett. Quarterback Florida State, Jameis Winston. Running back Indiana.
Yes. I got that. That one is one of my faves. Michigan quarterback in 2010. What? Oh, man. Who the heck is that?
Running back at Alabama? You kidding me? Who's a running back at Indiana? Oh, it's Tevin Coleman. Who am I talking?
Yeah, Tico.
Quarterback, Mississippi State, Prescott. Scooby Wright, I remember him.
Yeah, bear down, go Cats.
Quarterback, Baylor, that would be.
Can't
What the heck
spell
was his
this
name? He was a
dude's name.
Jet, Bryce Petty.
Quarterback.
Quarterback, Alabama, 2013, McCarron.
I'm looking up this fool's name because I know what it is, but I can't spell it. No, I don't want Majestic.
Jordan Lynch. QB Texas A&M Manziel. Auburn running back.
And Georgia touchdown.
Oh my goodness. Who is a Georgia Auburn running back? I should know this because he torched Mizzou. Oh, gosh.
I remember watching the game at my buddy's house. James Cook, 39-yard touchdown. Time to change the score. Imagine if you told someone that this would be the blowout game over Cincinnati, Alabama.
It's not Cameron Artis-Payne, was it?
No.
What was it?
Oh, that's who the Michigan quarterback was.
Trey Mason.
Yeah. He ran for what? 300. He ran for 300 yards
State
plus.
QB Ohio State 2013. Braxton Miller, running back Arizona. It's Kadeem Carey. Fresno State quarterback 2013. That'd be Carr.
Yeah.
Manti Te'o. Kansas State, that would be Colin Klein. USC wide receiver, Marquise Lee. Jadeveon Clowney. West Virginia wide receiver. Be Kevin, not Kevin White, is it?
Is it?
Who's a West Virginia wideout in 2012? That was really good. Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
Running back at Oregon, Barner. Linebacker at Georgia, 2012.
Ooh, I think I typed in the wrong name somewhere, so I got that one the first time, but I wouldn't have thought of his name off the top of my head.
Who was Georgia's best linebacker in 2012?
Okay, that's how you spell his name.
Griffin. Stanford quarterback, Luck. Richardson. Running back, Wisconsin. Monty Ball.
Yeah, Denver Broncos legend.
LSU defensive back. That'd be the Honey Badger. Houston quarterback, Case Keenum.
Ooh, shoot.
Easy quarterback, Kellen Moore.
Goat.
Wisconsin quarterback, that'd be certain Russell Wilson.
Uh, 2006 USC.
Does Bryant?
Oh, is it Dwayne Jarrett? Yes, it is Dwayne Jarrett. Nice.
Oh, freaking Justin Blackman. Oh God, that's a name.
Oh, he was so good at OK State, and then he was really good in the NFL, and then just couldn't get out of his own way, which sucks. Sad.
Arkansas quarterback. Is that Brandon Whedon? No.
Whedon was OK State.
Kyle Allen. No. Ryan Mallett. Oh my God. Kaepernick. TCU quarterback. That would be Andy Dalton.
Later than Dalton. I think it was even later than Casey Paschal.
All right, we're down to 2009.
I am at UCLA quarterback in 2005.
Running back, Alabama. In 2009, who was that? That was Mark Ingram. Toby Gerhart. Quarterback, Texas. McCoy. Dominican Sue.
Yeah. Duh.
Florida quarterback, Tebow. Clemson running back, TJ Spiller. Cincinnati receiver, Marty Gilliard. That's a name.
There you go.
Golden Tate. Oklahoma quarterback, Bradford. Quarterback, Texas Tech. Oh my gosh, what was his name? Oh my gosh, who's a Texas Tech quarterback? Graham Harrell.
I'm stuck on one myself.
Graham Harrell. That's a name. Wide receiver, Texas Tech, Michael Crabtree. Running back, Iowa. Former New York Jets, Sean Green.
Yeah, the GOAT.
Quarterback from Ball State, Nate Davis. Linebacker from SC.
Oh, that's his. Oh, wait, I already have him. Darn it. I should have him somewhere. Where is he? Never mind. I love how we've gone so far off the rails. We are both doing the same trivia, but we're not helping each other out.
Look, it's a 34-3 game and a game that I'm expecting to be very good, and I'm just upset about that.
Same. Oh man.
Running back, Michigan State. Oh my gosh. After
McCarthy is rolling. That's a first down for Michigan. Wow. What a play, everyone. name I haven't thought of in a very, very long time.
Oh my gosh.
Hooray.
Yeah, once these lava cakes are out of the oven, I gotta call it a night because
Ooh, yeah, lava cakes. I would say lava cakes can take precedent over football.
34-3.
Good point.
Frankie was right. I was wrong.
I was half right, half wrong. My hedging kind of worked. That's his name. That's right. Okay. So I need 16 more. Oh, that's right. We have an offensive lineman. Yeah, there we go. And that's right. Yep.
Gosh, this is so tough.
Crazy to think that Iowa has had a relevant quarterback since 2000, but I'll take it.
Running back from Michigan State. The year is 07. This is gonna torture me. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right.
Javon Ringer.
Yes, good job.
Ugh. Quarterback, Oregon, Dennis Dixon. QB, Boston College, Ryan. LSU defensive lineman. Oh, goodness.
All right. I have 9. I could
Notre
spell
Dame
his
quarterback, Quinn? Yes.
8 more.
West Virginia running back.
Oh, I hate spelling his name.
I already got Colt Brennan. May he rest in peace.
Yes. Yes.
Running back from Rutgers, it'd be Ray Rice.
Shame.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, he was slowing down. So, I mean, obviously that's yeah. So like, and Justin Forsett had a really nice year in 14, but it does suck that Rice did that. So,
AJ Hawk, UCLA quarterback. Oh,
there we go. 201 out of 201. Beautiful. So you're on UCLA quarterback?
Drew Olson. Running back, Oklahoma, Peterson. Running back, Texas. Oh my God, I feel like my brain is melting. About 170. Oh. Cedric Benson. Oh,
Rest in peace.
Peace too. Braylon Edwards. Oh, that's a name.
Browns legend.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who that is. All right. 26 to go. Pittsburgh receiver. Fitzgerald. Manning. Roethlisberger. That Schaub was not on the list. How about that? Rivers. Aaron Sproles. All right, 182. We're so close.
Speaking of so close, you might want to watch the TV if you can.
I'm at 813. Oh, we got it. And a flag.
Yeah. 7-on-7 crime there. So We have a couple exciting plays as we approach the 3-hour mark.
Cliff Kingsbury, how about that?
Yeah. Perennial choker, Cliff Kingsbury, yes, up there.
Offensive lineman from Miami. McKinney. Ugh. All right, that's it. Well, I got all of them.
Nice. Nope. Good stuff.
Well, I think I'm going to call it a night because
I think so as well.
34-3, and barring the most ridiculous comeback to end all ridiculous comebacks. Splash, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Hopefully the national championship doesn't stink this much.
Yeah, I will be back in Arizona for that, so that should be fun. So we are over the 3-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. If you tuned in for a second or all 3 hours, we appreciate it. And this will be us signing off for the last time in 2021. A full year of doing shows. Our first ever live show was, I believe, January 7th, 2011, or 2021. It's Frankie, Nick, and Bree. Timeout with uSTADIUM episode 1. Then they fired off episode 2. Jack and I got started the next week, and we will be celebrating our 52nd show next Tuesday.
Not bad, man.
Yeah.
Cheers to many more. Happy New Year to you, your family, and to everybody who's tuned in. Happy New Year to you as well. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and blessed 2022. But until then, peace out, and we'll see you for definitely NFL games and most definitely an SEC championship. Splash. See you. Yeah. Myself, Zach Berman, signing off. We will see you in 2022.
Yes, sir.